Hello and welcome to Left Coast Live. It is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. Stat Pat, how are you, my man? I heard there be some changes going on in your life. I guess we just have to get right into this amazing video that you made today that felt like an alcoholic's moment of clarity.
That's actually a good way to put it. I'm actually kind of flattered you see it that way. Yeah, I mean, this has kind of been flaring up for a while now. Like, I decided on my lunch, might as well just drive out to the countryside, nobody around, and, you know, just sit and film me venting my thoughts. Honestly, you know, I, it feels good to like just rant, and these are feelings I've been having for quite some time now, and it may come as a shock to a whole hell of a lot of people, and I don't doubt that for a second. This is going to be a very difficult thing for people to adjust to. I'm definitely going to lose a lot of my core audience when it comes down to this,
Mm,
but that's
you got to
just
be real.
yeah, it's a sacrifice I have to make. It's not like I disagree with a lot of what's coming out of the left, or like when it comes to the left in general. I mean, there's obviously a lot of things I agree with, but um I guess you can call it taking the red pill, which I mean, it's what I guess a lot of people have been trying to get people to take for the longest time, taking the red pill, and I'm just in the beginning stages of it, and I'm sure you saw the video earlier. If nobody's seen the video yet, it's the newest video on my channel that I put out. Why I'm leaving the left, and we can touch on aspects of the video. We'll answer any questions in the chat and whatnot. But it's just some. It's I just needed some sort of a change, and we'll see
Right.
where it goes from here.
Well, so was there any one particular event or person or thing that sparked this spark of change? I guess this flame of
It's
change, really. You were just tearing down your ideological foundation in front of us here on the internet, and you just had it
right.
with. Are you done with empathy? Or are
You
you just done with the institutional left? Or what are you really done with? And what are you still willing to embrace?
you know, um, I think, and that's actually a really good question because I actually do touch on it a little bit in the video. Um, I do think it is a fundamental schisming, I guess, just from the overall concept of empathy as a whole. Because I think when it comes down to it, hello, Megan. Thank you for joining. When it comes down to it, empathy as a concept, I think, is like a primary dividing line between the left and the right. And I've heard from other red pillars or like various people who are in like the alpha circles or whatever in the podcast sphere that they're no longer empathetic, and they just see it as a form of weakness. And it's like, I mean, there's a whole bunch of aspects to it because like I think if empathy is a form of weakness, that stifles your ability to win. And I think overall, being a winner is like my driving force. So if that means not being empathetic or sympathetic to the plights and causes of people I don't know or struggling demographics, it's just a waste of time for me.
It's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a complete 180 from the stat pat that we've come to know and love on this channel.
Yeah.
And are you so I'm just wondering, what did you answer the what you are you going to embrace part? What are you going to embrace? What are you going to? What are you done with? You said you're done with empathy. What else are you done with? Expand on this.
Well, I think
Transformation, or you still just loaded with questions. Maybe you don't have all the answers right now.
no, no, of course, this is complete and total. Like it's new. It's totally new. But it's not like I'm unfamiliar with a lot of the talking points and whatnot. I totally understand. Like, there's going to be a lot of people with questions. A lot of people just don't understand where I'm coming from, and it's just like I guess when it comes down to it, the right just has a whole lot more power and influence. Like, this is where all the money is. This is where all uh the influences. I mean, we've even talked about it on the show. I mean, I guess you could say resentfully how the right wing media apparatus it just has an insane, incredible amount of money, power, and influence. And I'm looking at that, it's just like it's so easy. I, c- I I can become part of this circuit, and it's not to say that like I would like abandon this show or perhaps the causes of the left and trying to like I guess take over the Democratic Party or whatever. But it's like the Democrats just aren't winners, honestly. And I mean, I think
And you think by being MAGA, you're now a winner?
well, I think
Are you officially now MAGA? Maybe we should start there.
I'm ha- I'm ha-
Are you leaving the left and joining the right, or are you just leaving the left?
I'm just leaving the left. I don't think I'm ready to be like fully embrace MAGA, but I mean we do have to admit though, like Trump is one funny motherfucker, and
Oh,
uh,
Jesus.
I mean he, he does it effortlessly, honestly, and I think even a lot of lefties can be um can learn a lot from Trump and like his cronies and everybody who worships the ground he walks on. It's like, I mean, this guy has been in the public sphere, at least politically, for over a decade now, and obviously there's something to it if 77 million people, maybe more, who knows, voted this guy in for a second term despite all the warnings about everything that he did, and
Right.
throughout his
Yeah.
first term. Yeah,
Yep.
everything's computer says make it. That was truly one of the funniest things ever. He's so dumb, but he's so funny. I turned off my son's laptop. I came in the room 10 minutes later. His laptop was on again. How did he do it? Yeah, like that's a Trump quote right there. But when it comes to MAGA, I mean, I stated in the video there are some things that we agree with. It's like, yeah, guns are cool, and immigrants are scary, and I don't think people pay enough attention to the crime that's just all over this country and how it's harming just all Americans. Honestly, more people need to be talking about it because even though outlets like Fox News and OAN Newsmax talk about 24/7, it's like they're not the mainstream media. We're talking about like ABC, CBS. It's like, why aren't you guys talking about crime? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of aspects to it, but
Yeah,
I,
it sounds
I, I
like
I
you've
think,
got some consecration to be had here with your your ideological framework and what you're willing to accept. But so you officially hate the government, right?
oh yeah, yeah. Alex says, "Hail Kanye West." Oh my God, I wouldn't go that far. He says some things I agree with, but I wouldn't go that far. Um, I mean, the the government is obviously bad. Like I agree. I actually agree a lot with some aspects of what Trump is doing. He is dismantling the deep state, as it were. I do think that there are a lot of bad apples, bad actors, bad hombres, as it were, within the government. And I think Trump and Elon Musk are doing their best to root them out. Cutting off all the employees from the VA or the NHS. Well, not the NHS. Fucking uh, the USAID, the Department of Education, because I mean it's just an indoctrination department. Honestly, that agency has needed to go for years and years and years now. Government bad is a good take. Yes, that's right, Megan. But I mean, the fact that our tax money has been going to these things for years and years and years is just pretty disgraceful. So I think making the government as small as possible is definitely the way to go. NIH is that's right, Megan. That's the one I'm looking for. Government does do good things though. Like I like the police. I think the police are an essential part of the society, so that way crime can be curbed efficiently. Obviously, the military I do support us going to whatever wars we need to fight. But
Just whatever wars we feel like fighting, we should pursue.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
because this is the greatest country in the world, and I do believe that might makes right. And of course, if you got the smartest people in charge, the Pete Hegseths, the Michael Waltzes,
Right.
the Stephen
Talent.
Millers, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Real
have the
talent. Yeah.
yeah, the JD Vance and all them. These are actually like really really smart people that know what they're doing, and I think we're actually in better hands than a lot of people on the left really like to admit.
Mm.
No war bad.
Well,
Megan, well, I mean, I guess it depends on the war. Like Iraq War was good at first, and then it ended up being bad. And the Houthis are trying to fuck us over in the whatever sea that is, and we do need to protect Israel because the shipping routes and you know yes. But I mean, you have to admit though, Megan, war itself is actually pretty damn cool. Like, have you ever like watched war footage, or have you played like any military
video games,
yeah, yeah, or simulators or
Call of
anything like
Duty.
that? Yeah, like it's actually pretty fucking dope. Um, Small government means no patents. Police are not necessary evil, but have overstepped. Remove qualified immunity.
Yeah, but who
I
you?
think.
But you do expect the government to be there for you in a natural disaster, of course, right?
I mean, I.
Like the hospitals and stuff, like the first responders, like that's all got to be government. You want to privatize that?
I mean, if it means people get to make money off of like disaster relief, then absolutely, yeah. I think if people are able to profit off of, hurricanes or tornadoes, earthquakes, landslides, whatever, if there are corporations in place that are able to profit off of it, then absolutely, like they should absolutely be able to profit off of uh, disaster zones for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, Megan says police are necessarily evil that but have overstepped, remove qualified immunity. I don't think that they should have immunity removed. If they end up, you know, killing someone on accident, like cops make mistakes, but in order to do their jobs, I think they absolutely need to be a bit more above the law than I think people give them lenience for. Not cool when you see people dead or injured close to you. I mean, yeah, war is an awful thing, but I mean, it's still cool as long as you win. And America,
Yeah, and if you have we have the best weapons,
yeah,
so why wouldn't we win?
we are a winning country, like 100%. Like this is the greatest country in the history of the
But you
world.
think that? Do you think that everything is a competition, Stat Pat? Or sorry, is it Real Pat now? What are we calling you? Are we changing your name?
I'm still debating it. I mean, Real Patriot's a bit too generic. I think it might still be like something like Real Patriot of the left coast, but um, yeah. When it comes to competition, I mean, you got to look at the history of the United States because we have outcompeted basically every single country in the world, and I guess our closest competitor right now is China. But um, I think competition is a good thing. I still do think that like there are some things that you don't really need to compete over. It's like what toppings you put on pizza or whatever. But when it comes to economics and military strength, that is absolutely something that if we do have tax dollars, that we should put all our tax money into, so that way nobody around the world can fuck with us. So like we have just a dominance on the global stage.
Yeah, so you sound like at least a neocon on your way towards MAGA.
Maybe. I mean, I like to take the Dave Rubin approach because he used to be on the left, and then was slowly more convinced. He was red pilled over time, and basically saw the light, and now he basically deals exclusively with with conservatives. Um, but I think being more of like a centrist like Ben Shapiro or Matt Walsh, and taking that approach, or maybe like Pierce Morgan, maybe Tim Pool, who are a bit more liberal. Um, and I guess it's a balancing act. Hearing what both sides have to say and basically taking it from there. That you're not like fully on board with one idea or the other. You're just like giving your opinions on this or that, and just seeing where the cards fall.
Wow.
Taking the worst position on like basically everything. I think you're wrong, Megan. I have no idea why you would think that. Um, him
Well,
on
the
him
transformation is complete. Do you think that
says
this
yucky. I
transfer
disagree.
do you think that this transformation is a result of not having good enough male role models?
Oh yeah, I'm super fucking lonely all the time, and the only attention I feel like I can receive is through these podcasts that I watch. It's like I end up developing these parasocial relationships with these Dubro podcasters, and these guys that consider themselves alpha male, and it's just like and they tend to leave conservative, and it's just like, well, these guys are super rich, these guys are super ripped, they have hot girls on their podcasts all the time. It's like I want to be like that. So slowly but surely I have been, I guess, transforming my ideals, and you know it everything they're saying over time has begun to make a lot more sense, especially doing away with having empathy for others, and realizing that like self-serving yourself and making as much money as possible is indeed the way to go to be successful and rich. And I time will tell whether it proves fruitful or not, but um I don't see any other way to approach this. Megan says Temple coming out no against no due process for aliens is based. Oh yeah, because right now, even though it's in the Constitution, which I do believe in the Constitution, it the Fifth Amendment basically guarantees like even if you aren't here legally, you shouldn't. You deserve due process, like no matter what you're going through. But all with all the deportations happening right now, they're just snatching people up off the street, black bagging people, U.S. citizens, and there's even some guy who was sent to El Salvador, who is a U.S. citizen, and we can't find him, and neither ICE nor the government have any obligation to bring him back, let alone find him, and that's pretty terrifying. But I mean, it's I'm sure this administration will find some way to get him back, and fix what might be considered a mistake.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, I feel the exact opposite. I feel like I have no faith. I'm not surprised by Tim Pool with being in favor of no due process for immigrants. Immigrants
Oh
are
no, he came out
lesser
against it.
people
Like he
against no
yeah
due process.
Right, yeah. So he believes like, yeah, they
They
should
do
still,
deserve
yeah,
good due process. Oh well, that's good for Tim. I'm glad he could get there on that one.
right.
Um, so yeah, it's interesting to hear you changing your position on so many issues. Um, I'm wondering if there are drugs involved, but
Cocaine,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Lots of cocaine lately, yeah. Megan says that guy was a protected permanent resident and confirmed member of MS-13, if I remember correctly. Then, yeah, fuck due process. Send him to the gulags, never to be found. Work him to death until he dies. Fuck trials. None of that shit. Send him to El Salvador. Great vacation spot.
it's weird because my inner conservative, I can feel him like gravitating, coming out and being like, "Yes,
I'm
this
gonna
is
get
an
you. I'm gonna
this
get you.
is the guy.
I'm gonna
This is the way,
I'm
is the
gonna red pill you.
conservative way now, the
Right.
selfish way, the me first way,
Exactly.
the feel
It's
like a winner." So you're all about American exceptionalism now, then, right? That essay that you loved, you probably don't like that essay anymore.
well, it's a liberating feeling, to be exceptional, like in and of itself, honestly. So you don't have to worry every day. You don't have to deal with dread or existential despair because you know that your idea, your perception of things is that everything's just turning to absolute dog shit and there's no hope for anything and we're devolving into a fascist oligarchical nightmare that we probably can't get out of, and Trump's probably going to steal the election in 2028 and remain in power so he can have a third term that he's dead serious about. But you know uh, if you take the red pill like I have, you don't have to worry about that shit anymore because you're in favor of the party that's in charge. Honestly,
Right,
you're
you're on the winning team.
exactly, yeah, and
Are
like
you still think you're the winning team though? Because there's been a lot of backlash and he's losing all kinds of popularity numbers.
oh, those are
Um,
fake. Those
oh,
numbers are
those are
fake.
fake.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are fake.
Those aren't real, honestly. And I've seen some similar numbers regarding Elon Musk as well. And sure, I have some issues with him, like his Neuralink thing and the fact that he has a diaper furry fetish, and he was ostracized from the community because nobody liked him because he was a diaper furry, and even that community rejected him.
Uh-huh.
Even though he's like a total weirdo, I think he is a patriot and is at least trying to do the right thing. But I mean, even Polymarket is not even taking bets anymore about like um, how much waste, fraud, and abuse Doge is going to cut because uh, I guess the numbers coming out of Doge aren't actually that reliable to place bets on, and it's just been a total mess. They're not producing the right receipts. Their claims aren't really backed by much evidence. It's a whole mess and a half. But I understand people are upset, and even though the Trump administration has cut hundreds of thousands of federal jobs right now, I mean, tough shit. Go find a job in the private sector, and you'll be fine.
Good luck. Just good luck, right?
Yeah, yeah. Good luck. Honestly, I mean, it's that's the thing too. It's like um, taxation is obviously theft. It's theft. It's wrong, and I
People
don't.
aren't getting anything for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think like taxation. By the way, I got a Doge shirt right here. 2014, baby. Yeah, I've had it for quite a while. I never wear it until lately. Maybe I could auction this off for like $1 million or some shit. Anyway, taxation is indeed theft because um, that's my money that my private company paid me, and I don't think it should be going to things like you know Social Security or Medicare or SNAP or programs that feed the homeless, the veterans, and children, the hungry, and all that. It's just like if if they were smart, Like if these people that rely on government services that our tax dollars pay for were smart, they would have they would, for one, get like a better job, and for two, save some money and put it away, like have a different checking account or savings account, and like it'd be problem solved. But like just people are too stupid. People like in this country are really fucking dumb. So like just because you're dumb doesn't mean my tax dollars should be going towards you.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Well, I mean, who can blame you for these positions? They're just self-preservation, right? I mean, they're
yeah,
just, like taking the man's way out. It's not the easy way out, it's the man's way out, right?
yeah,
This is what the straight white men of this country are mostly doing, is bailing out on any kind of personal growth and just saying, fuck it, I want what I want and I want it now.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I want a healthy, beautiful wife that will give me 4 children, and hopefully will buy a house with these Doge dividends that we're getting. And hopefully, if a conservative think tank picks me up and picks up my show, I'll be making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, saying whatever I have to say, and then we'll buy a house, hopefully in a red county, maybe along the coast if such a thing exists, and live a happy, successful life.
Well, I'm proud of you, man. It takes a lot of guts to change so many positions in such a short period of time.
Yeah,
It's just like, I mean, I'm wondering if, it wasn't because you like watched an episode of some TV show or a documentary or read a book or anything like that. This was just kind of coming for a while and it just blew up in the last 24 hours. And you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna
yeah.
switch teams.
Yeah, because I just want to get what I want because I'm me and I'm worried about me first above anything and all else. Honestly,
Mhm.
I mean it's the Ayn Rand philosophy. I mean it's no wonder a lot of senators and House members look up to Ayn Rand as such a prominent figure because in the end, selfishness is a virtue. If you're not putting yourself first, then it's like, what the hell are you doing? But like, who cares if uh, Western civilization is decaying around you? The income inequality is worsening because the like with each boom bust cycle, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer because they just suck up everything that's left over. They monopolize further. They buy out businesses. Small businesses disappear more and more and more. And it's just like that's the game, baby. That's fucking capitalism for you. So it's just like get the fuck over it. Like become a winner or just like rot in the fucking gutter. Like who cares?
Right.
Honestly, like you should put yourself first. Like if someone's asking you for change on the street, like they're starving or whatever, or some single mom's asking for a handout, you shouldn't be obligated to fucking oblige them at all. Absolutely not.
Right. No.
Yeah, I'll believe it when,
No.
when you actually make your roommates pay rent. Well, fortunately, like they're actually being on time with it and just got their tax return, so money is coming my way.
Yeah, that a boy. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, you don't judge a
Um,
UFC fighter for being the shit of the other guy to be fair. So yes, you should be selfish. I mean, if they're, I don't judge them for winning if that's what you mean. But um, that is to say, I am still very, very interested in this uh, show and furthering its goals. And I think a left right dynamic could really like bolster the show in a way and give people different perspectives that they otherwise wouldn't have considered before.
mm,
Megan
all right
says.
then.
Megan says selfish actions include emotionally selfish things. That's exactly correct. Yeah, I mean, what it comes down to, I mean, men, especially conservative men, are. pretty well known for not being emotionally stable. I mean, that's pretty much a given when it comes down to it. But when it comes down to the philosophy of conservatism and it how it requires selfishness, just self-centeredness in general, it's like, yeah, that's you're not going to be really perceived as emotionally stable, because like if you're not getting what you want, you're rightfully going to throw a fit.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to lash out. You're going to blame others, and like, because
Right.
nothing is ever actually your fault, because you know you're a winner. You know that you're on the winning side. You know that you're surrounded by equally alpha-minded people, and winners and whatnot. So you can't possibly be wrong. Like, you can make mistakes, sure, but it doesn't matter because of everything that I just laid out for you.
Well, I gotta say this is gonna be way more fun
Good.
because there's gonna be lots of needless conflict, and I'm gonna have to work on my conservative tolerance because I kind of swore off conservatives, man. This is like you're kind of forcing me to make this decision of like letting a conservative back in my life in like a major way.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know, man. This is bad. This might be bad for my mental health to let someone back in such a public way.
Yeah, I totally understand that. It's definitely something to adjust to. We'll definitely see how it plays out. I suppose you could say. Um, like, I mean, I totally get the shock. You know, the big change, and there's such an ideological contrast now. But I think it could prove fruitful as long as like the engagement and the discourse is civil. Um, Megan says, Megan says it would help the show if you're actually right wing. Read dissertations on the philosophical meaning of utility and economics. Megan, that's way too many big words. I'm not going to do that. That sounds really really hard, and I don't like reading. Um, Self accountability is a huge part of being right wing. I completely disagree with that. I think if something happens that you're involved with, you should do your best to blame anything and anyone else for what could be perceived as a mistake you made. I am super proud of Trump and this whole national security blunder involving Signal, blaming Signal itself, and that bullshit Marxist communist fucking journalist from the Atlantic who has done nothing but try to tear Trump down. He's also very pro-Israel, by the way. I th- it, you shouldn't. Trump hires the best people. Like, he has said
Mm.
this time and time and time again.
Including Pete Hegseth.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, clearly, like, maybe he shouldn't have, like, um I guess, listed out, the timing for these attacks, or whatever. I guess a lot of people on Fox were upset about that. It's like, dude, the guy knows what he's doing. He wouldn't be the head of the Department of Defense if he wasn't the right guy for the job, honestly.
Yeah.
And like, even Trump's not, like, at first he wanted to blame Michael Waltz for his mistakes, but like, he hasn't fired him. If it was any other administration, if it was any other country, like, all these people will be gone in a heartbeat. But it's not their fault.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I think even Pete Hegseth uh, ended all cybersecurity operations against Russia, because we're trying to make deals with Russia, we're trying to make inroads with them, we're trying to end this war in Ukraine and whatnot. And so by ending cybersecurity against, I think like counterintelligence and like cyber warfare is the term I'm looking for. We are basically signaling to them like, hey, like we can be friends, like we can partner up when it comes down to it. Like maybe you guys can help us take over Greenland, because fuck the Europeans. Like I thought it was hella funny when JD Vance is like, yeah, those guys are just fucking mooching off of us. So it's like, why not? Yeah, let's buddy up. Let's invade Greenland. Fuck what Denmark has to say. Fuck what France has to say. What the fuck are they going to do? Go against the two most powerful militaries in the world? It's like, yeah, why the fuck not?
Yeah, I mean, let's just take on anybody and everybody we feel like it.
Hmm.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great, man.
yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think you know we need to bring back the faith in America that we had during the Bush years when we were going after the terrorists. Except, you know, sure the poll numbers aren't that good when it comes to like, oh, should we annex Greenland and whatnot? But it's just like, don't you want America to be bigger? We can like there's already a housing crisis here. It's like, why not just send all of our homeless people to Greenland once we invade it and make it part of the United States?
Hmm.
Annex Ukraine, no, Greenland. Greenland, Megan. But we should annex
Yeah.
Ukraine as well. I don't see why not. They have a lot of minerals. We can use a lot of those minerals, and they're not very uh they're not agree in very much agreement with us having access to those minerals, because I guess they want protections and guarantee protections against Russia or whatever. But I say let's annex Ukraine as well.
Okay. Let's do it, man. Annex Ukraine and annex Greenland. I think they're just gonna give Ukraine to Putin. Pretty sure. Pretty
Probably.
sure, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Trump's or Putin's got something on Trump. Everyone's said it for years, but
Yeah,
or they just have it, or they just have a gentleman's agreement to, talk shit to one another, but not really do anything about it. Like funding this Ukraine thing, it's just funding the military industrial complex. I mean, so, but you're on board with that, right? You said that you're all about the excessive military spending. That sounds good to you.
I think there has been way too much hubbub made about Russia, like the Russia hoax or whatever. It's like it's totally not the fact that like they are by far the biggest adversary when it comes to counterintelligence and cyber warfare and sabotage and spying and paying people like Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Lauren Chen, Dave Rubin to spout Russian talking points and hyper conservative talking points. All that's bullshit. All of that is bullshit. I think the media just wants Trump to fail, and they just need to let him and Putin sort everything out and stop whining.
It's
Piss
awesome, man. Good for
piss
you.
tape.
Good for you.
Wasn't that a liberal hoax? The golden showers tape. I remember that. You made a comment fucking earlier in the
So you
chat
think
saying
these what do you think about these tariffs then? You
2016.
think they're a good idea? Where are you on the economics of this new worldview?
Um, I mean, I think if I have to pay more for gas, that's obviously really bad. But um, I mean, paying more is patriotic. I guess we'll see. I mean, they haven't actually. Tomorrow's like the big day, right? It's Liberation Day. We're going to see exactly how these tariffs play out and exactly how like how much they're going to be like what specifically will be tariffing and uh who's going to be tariffed the most. But
Mm.
um I'm I'll say I'm neutral on tariffs. I think they could be a good thing. um but obviously, like if inflation goes back up, that's I don't think that's going to be good for anyone. But I mean, um, the who is Trump's economic advisor right now? Trump senior economic advisor. Let's see. Appoints members council of economic advisors. CEA chairman Stephen Miron. Uh, sounds like a smart name. I think he might be the guy. I think he might be the guy to handle everything and be like, "Go Trump, go! This is a smart thing you're doing." More gas production here means more American jobs. Venezuelan gas is really dirty anyway, says Megan. Yeah, I mean, um, fuck Venezuela. I mean, if dirty place has dirty gas, that checks out to me. Equal tariffs with gold driving down other countries' tariffs on us is questionable, but could potentially end well. Unlikely. I mean, the Wall Street Journal did say that this is the dumbest trade war in history, but I mean, what the fuck do they know? Like, I mean, how long have they actually been along? Uh, have they actually existed? Fuck what they have to
Yeah.
say. Yeah,
All right, man. Well, I think you got a lot of talking to do to your audience. I got that thing that I gotta go do.
for sure.
But keep going and
Right. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I did plan on extending the stream because I know you have to go do your thing, but yeah, unfortunately, no. Megan Dieter can't hang. He has a pre-existing obligation. That's why we started so early today, so that way he's able to uh go do it. I got that thing dying.
Yeah.
um. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's an
so
important.
yeah, so unfortunately, Dieter does have to go, but I'll stream for like maybe another hour or so. Go a bit
Yeah, have fun.
more.
All right, guys. Well, for me, Dieter McBusiness, reminding you that you don't get change in America by asking nicely. I will see you next week, Stat Pat.
Absolutely, you got. I'll see you next time. Let me go ahead and get out of this real quick, and
All
we'll
right,
do like a
I'm done.
post stream
Have a
chat
good one, bro.
for sure. Have a good one, dude.
Bye bye.
Okay, all right. Well, sad to see him go. I was hoping to go a bit longer with him. Pre-existing condition of being a soy boy. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I think he is an upstanding man, Megan. So, what should we talk about? Bed Nutmeg, clearly not conservative. Hey, I'm late to the party when it comes to Jordan Peterson. He says, like, clean your room, bucko, make your bed. Um, you know, and it's mostly conservatives who listen to him, right? Yeah, I'm not there yet. Um, besides, isn't that a woman's job? You know, don't don't aren't women the ones who like are supposed to make beds? You know, clean houses and everything. The lobsters. That's right. I'll hire the lobsters. But yeah, if you want to come over and make my bed, Megan, you can. Since you're a woman. What should we watch? What should we talk about here? All right. Lots of tornadoes and whatnot. There's some thunderstorms out near me too. Across the country, it's kind of crazy. You guys like my new hat? Very patriotic, I would say. Let's see. Is it new? Yeah, it's new. New hat. Who dis? But I need a big, strong man to lift the furniture while I vacuum. Okay, well, you got one right here. Honestly, I do work out, so get over here and make my bed. I'm not gonna ask you twice. All right, let's watch. Um, I just realized I don't follow that many uh conservatives on my page. Is Cory Booker still talking? Let's see. What does he have to say? Cory Booker breaks record with marathon 24-hour speech on Senate floor to protest Trump policies. What a loser. Tim Pool's live now. Okay. Sent for Ben Shapiro's free Chauvin take. I dare you. Is that the cop who killed George Floyd? Tim Pool's live now. Yeah, I guess we can see what Tim Pool has to say. Do. Okay. Tim Cast.
Reported crime is down.
Is this? He's not live. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, he is.
Sign up
Not
for
just
the
liberals.
I'm subscribed to Tim Guest IRL.
Like, this guy is an academic. He is
Who's this fruit?
like the like patient zero of like of I can't
fascism?
BDS.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I say the S word?
Well, we try not to.
Okay, then I won't. That's
Shit. Oh, wait.
fine. Okay.
Just
I was
because
gonna say S-lib. That's why. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's fair.
just for clarity for those watching, people watching their TVs with their kids in the living room.
Yep,
So
that's
it's a
fine.
news show.
That's
but
why I asked. Yeah.
although I'm not sure that's always appropriate. But curiously,
Oh, wow, this is a big because he's from Columbia. He had a posh gig.
yeah, it's fling.
Good.
It's great.
Yeah.
I think
Man, this is making
Okay, I'm bored. Let's talk. Let's listen to something more interesting. I could really care less about this beanie wearing liberal. Let's see. Ben Shapiro doesn't do live shows, does he? Let's see. See Michael Malice. Who is that? Not the S word. They do cuss often. Huh. Is Hillary running for president again? Is she?
None of those tools can do the job alone. Together, they make America a superpower. The Trump approach is dumb power. Okay, these are the kinds of words of a person who's trying to throw
I absolutely despise this editing. It's beyond annoying.
her hat into the ring as a candidate. Now, one of the big questions on the Democratic side of the aisle, of course, is who exactly is going to be at the head of the party?
It's Gavin Newsom. It's not Hillary Clinton. All right, we're done with that.
Only dodged proper sentencing
All right.
and further criminal charges.
Cory Booker. This ain't Cory
because of
Booker.
Sweeping
Cory Booker
presidential
is
immunity
not this
granted
pink.
by a Supreme Court stacked
You
with
wearing a
right-wing
beanie right now?
justices
Well,
he appointed.
you look hot in one, so.
Two, it's a tactic.
This for there at 10
For
a.m.
would-be
Boo! Who wakes up
autocrats,
that early?
Accusations signal
Mickey Mouse, famous
intentions.
anarchist. Okay.
You accuse the other side
Okay.
of doing
Gen Z
what
on his
you're
editing
plotting,
team.
so that when you're caught doing it,
Surpassed their cruise from. Yeah, good
set it
for
up to
him.
look like
Despite being a Democrat.
offsetting penalties. Accusations signal intentions. And sure enough, now there's real weaponization of the
So
justice.
did he stop?
Willingness to speak hard truths and encourage our partners to step up. Rule of law and the overreach.
Blah blah blah. Rule of law and overreach. Who cares about that?
I never imagined the years of my dad as a 2-year-old and 3-year-old taking me to the bathroom that one day I'd have to take him. And so in this Atlanta movie theater, in the middle of a movie, which I was like, okay, it's time for me to do this ritual that so many families know.
This is weird. Good for him, though. I suppose. I guess. I don't know. Who's that? Sounds like there's a pigeon outside or something. Let's see. Daily Wire collapse, huh? Communist Kalinske. Hyperbolic Kyle. I don't know.
Huge 99.99 super chat
No,
says,
Why-
always
that's
Chicago lol.
ass.
Thank you.
I mean, he has to talk about
Chicago's in there
something.
tomorrow. Chicago's been in a lot of them
Your
recently.
cat hunts outside.
We'll
I
be
kind of
talking
like
about
birds
Chicago a lot, probably at the beginning, towards the middle of the stream tomorrow.
and I also don't want my cat to catch bird flu. Severe thunderstorm
Ryan
warning.
R1 Gamortis _409 sent a 49.99 super chat. The y'all polygons continue to be a fantastic
Tornado
addition to the
watch
coverage.
for
Thank you. That's something else that we've been working really hard on is
until midnight for Oklahoma,
getting
Kansas,
Andy's
Texas.
expert
Wild.
genius weather brain more integrated into the stream. Like Andy's verbal.
Please sign the petition
No, I'm not doing
and
that.
urge Congress
That's
to make
no
assault
good
rifles
bird.
illegal.
You
for
underestimate
civilians.
her.
There's no practical application in civilized society for
It's rare that
assault
she gets
rifles.
to see a bird.
We need your
So I
help.
mean, she might.
Please tell Congress to outlaw them now.
No, guns are fine because you get to shoot people that are different than you. I mean, guns are fun. You get to shoot bad, scary people, especially if they have darker skin than you.
That's really about it. I don't see much with it in terms of rotation right now. If this is really the only lasting storm right now in southern Oklahoma. So if there were a storm to do something, it would have to be this storm at this point. So we'll continue to keep a close eye on it as it continues to move east-northeast.
Jordan Hall, Max Archer. That's cool. I have always wanted
Back over in
to
Texas,
be.
we still got a few.
Shut up! I've always wanted to be a storm chaser. Prairie dog hunting. Where is that? It is Oklahoma.
Few storms that have popped up east of Abilene, a couple north of Ranger and Eastland. They're going to be moving towards Mineral Wells.
Oklahoma is really cool. Like, they're like trying to like criminalize women hopping state borders to murder the babies that are in their wombs. I think, I'm a small government guy, but I think every single woman's womb, uterus, should be barcoded and should be chipped, so that way the government knows whether or not you have an abortion and whether or not to throw you in jail over it. I think women's bodies should be monitored at all times. 100%. Let me know if it's northeast Arkansas. I shall. Oh, here we go. There we go. Wait. There we go. If you chip them monitor premarital sex. Are you saying that that's what they'll do? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Bible, period, something. Bible says you can't do that. And I already asked Jesus for forgiveness for all the premarital sex I've had. So I'm still going to heaven. I said my prayers and accepted him as my savior, apologized for my sins, and asked him for forgiveness. So I'm good now. Everything is all good. All right. I guess we'll go back to like Tim's thing.
Reparations, right? If I burn down your $10,000 car, I can't give you $5,000. I have.
Oh, yes, I do know.
I have to make you whole, right? So how are you going to compensate these estates or people who are owned? If your great grandma was a slave, I can't be like, here's 10 grand. You're like, oh, screw her. I got my 10 grand.
That's not how it works. Yeah, it is.
Buy a new car. There are.
Haven't you read the Bible?
5 million African Americans, according to Google.
Ask Jesus to forgive your sins and accept that as your Lord and
They
Savior.
have made their point repeatedly.
You'll be
through their
forgiven.
actions and words that they don't want to be free. Slavery in the South is a nightmare. So obviously the definition, the opposite that will be safer than north will be heaven on earth. Every African American gets a Canadian. Racism is done forever.
Wait,
Reparation.
what? Oh, this is interesting.
IRS e-file is now
Shut
open.
the fuck
Stop
up.
your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free. Plus, good evening.
If I ever became president, advertisements would be illegal, unless they paid me. Unless the people who wanted to advertise paid me a shitload of money for my campaign, then I'd let those specific companies be allowed to advertise.
And thank you so much for joining us on this first day of April, a stormy start to the new month. I'm Laura Painter.
And I'm Chris Thomas. You can certainly say that again. And so we have to start tonight with a weather impact alert and very unstable conditions. Just hours ago, we even had a tornado warning for parts of Yuba and Nevada County. And listen to this.
Wow.
Yeah, that is the sound of hail coming down today in Grass Valley.
Where's Grass Valley again? Is that the? Oh, that's like near Auburn, right? Off of like either the 50 or the 80.
Thank you to viewer Greg for sharing this video with us.
Every African American gets a Canadian. Nice. That's reparations right there. You have to actually try to stop the sin. I mean, we're all sinners though. Like, so Jesus forgives the sinner. You know, hate the sin, love the sinner. So like, I mean, if you sin, you just gotta tell Jesus you're sorry. It's fine.
Meteorologist Monica Woods is standing by with more on what to expect tonight.
We're not quite done with the active weather yet. In terms of any sort of warnings, we don't have anything active right now on our radar. But as you can see,
I saw some gnarly lightning and heard some crazy thunder while at work today. It was so cool.
we still have this line of storms pressing its way out of the valley
Yeah, God is punishing California for being communist.
into the foothills. So I want to focus on a couple of areas right now. First of which we have just up the hill from Cameron Park. You can see this isolated cell potentially dropping hail as well as frequent lightning. So along Highway 50, still active. Areas of some slow going and some difficult travel with some heavy rain, gusty winds, all the likes that go around those
And
isolated.
gay. Oh yeah, California is gay. Yeah. No, it's not how it works. For at least try to act right wing stuff. The Bible transcends politics, Megan. You're trying to gatekeep the Bible now?
Cells. Up the hill, it is snow. So snow level dropping to about.
Besides, like, who are you to question my faith? Let ye who's without sin cast the first stone. Right?
3,500 to 4,000 feet by the time we get through tonight. So it's a lot of dangerous travel. As we make our way
Grass Valley
north
is
of
even
Highway 50, this
north
is the
of,
area that we earlier
Auburn.
cells. Up the hill, it is snow. So snow level dropping to about 3,500 to 4,000 feet by the time we get through tonight. So it's a lot of dangerous travel. As we make our way north of Highway 50, this is the area that we earlier had that tornado warning. Still dealing with these isolated cells that continue to regenerate under this very active weather environment and the potential for more thunderstorms.
Calaveras
As
is
we
about
head
to
into the
get
northern
dumped
San
on.
Joaquin Valley, right around Highway 12 and 26, you can see we've got some isolated action right there.
That's where Valley
with some
Springs
periods
is.
of some heavier rain. Behind it, some clearing. But until we get past sunset, we have the potential to see some of those more active cells.
It's crazy.
Higher up the hill, we get into the snow. Highway 108, 89, and 88 all impacted with the snow. Winds have been periodically gusty right now at about 15 miles per hour
No
with
way.
our weather impact alert headlines continuing today with rain, thunderstorms, and snow being alert to those changing hourly and moment-to-moment conditions. Temperatures currently in the 50s down low, 30s and 40s up top, and near 30 for this year. We're just on the tail end of this. By the time we get to about 7:30, things start to quiet down, but we'll talk about some rain and snow totals still ahead.
Yeah, such an active day, Monica. Thank
Mhm.
you. Stay up to date
Gosh
on today's
golly.
weather impact alert.
So there's a tornado warning earlier, huh?
Those with Robinhood Gold can enjoy a 3% IRA match. Tremendous.
here in California, we have lots of climate events.
up.
When you have solar and a power wall, I get to control all that. I like the
Yapping
independence.
world
During the
champion.
day, when the cost
I
of
don't
energy
think-
is lower, the solar.
I mean, 24 hours straight. I am sure my group of friends can probably outdo Cory Booker. Should have heard all of them yapping the other night. It was fun. It was funny. Good for Cory Booker, I guess. Too bad he'll never be president, and it's probably good too. It seems so exciting. Still in the way to watch.
You sure tried there, didn't it? Right up the alley. Yeah.
Our baseball-sized hailstorm was down to the south earlier in northern Oklahoma. Let's go over to Hunter Hurley. He's approaching. I'm pretty sure he's on that northern storm. That's back over in southeast Kansas now. He has a pretty good view of it. This is what it looks like right now.
All right.
It is that these cities are leftist.
Yes, correct.
Right.
By nature.
Am I pro Mangione death penalty now? No. He won't be president because he's vegan. I didn't know you had to be non-vegan to be president. But eat a steak or something. Develop heart disease like the rest of us. You coward.
Right. And so it is that ideology. I guess that's the point. It's obviously there are some Republican areas that are
No,
not
but
as good.
but I think it kind of misses the point, because if all cities are leftist, which is I think everyone agrees, why are some cities thriving and some aren't? So if they have something in common, it's some secondary characteristic that's going to make some.
Don't make them think. Don't, like, if they're leftist, it's bad. It's bad. Who cares if they're successful?
And some work better than others. Why is look at Seattle, and then look at like Miami. Like I think Miami does have a
Miami's
Republican
red.
governor. But look at like Austin's doing a lot better.
Miami's red.
Sure, Austin.
No, it's not.
Is doing a lot better.
I thought Tim was supposed to be smart. He hides a lot of his IQ under that beanie
Better
of
than
his.
Seattle does, and Austin's run by communists.
The apparatus around those cities.
These are questions to ask. These are questions.
I think it's actually.
I mean, the fact that he's calling a city communist shows that he's actually very, very smart and knows exactly what he's talking about. Actually, there are actually a lot of communist cities in this country, especially the ones with that have private businesses stationed in them. If they support gay rights and whatnot, and Black Lives Matter, it's like it's very shows how very dangerous these cities are and how communist they are.
Actually simple. The density of the left. Austin is mixed.
Yeah,
Seattle's
that could be
far
it.
left.
That could be it.
Miami
as
is far Republican.
But that could be it as well.
And I think the important way to look at it is when you make this surface level joke, the meme, show me a ghetto, I'll show you a city run by Democrats. That's a very surface level way of understanding. Leftist ideology leads to chaos and destruction. Right ideology leads to creation.
There's the joke about what the socialists used before they used candles, light bulbs.
Yeah.
And I got to say something else that surprised me. And this is kind of a detour that there's no point, but to your hometown, I went to Chicago for my birthday last year, and all my friends were like, good luck not getting shot. It was perfectly safe. I didn't realize the violence was very localized. Yeah. Like the places I was at, I forget where they were. We were at 2 a.m. It was perfectly fine.
Which neighborhood,
it's like northwest of the museums.
Well, there's a lot of. I mean, if you're talking about like the Gold Coast or like slightly northwest of downtown,
yeah,
then you're in a well-off area.
That's where it was. Yeah,
yeah.
It's
now,
my understanding.
Go to 80%.
I'm not arguing with you. But
I'm saying the reality. I think you went to the one safe place.
But I think the difference is in New York, the crime is on the subway. It's going everywhere. And in LA, my friend was staying in Beverly Hills, and they warned her when you got out of the hotel, just don't have stuff in your car. I was surprised Chicago's reputation. We walked around a lot. That it felt a lot safer than New York, where I walked around. That surprised me.
Do you feel like the violence used to be hyperlocal in Manhattan to certain places?
No.
But now it's worse everywhere after the 70s.
Stop being nuanced about crime. Just keep on saying that this city's bad, that city's bad, and they just stick with it. Nuances for leftists, nuances for lefty commies. Let's just stick to your short talking points and don't think.
He's maybe like there was this is gonna sound crazy. For a long period in time, violence in New York was not a thing. It was like you hear about it, but like you were perfectly safe.
Post 70s.
Yeah, I say post 80s because Giuliani 93, yeah, like maybe like 95. Because when he first came in, I remember being in the subway, you couldn't listen to your headphones because there would be groups of kids that go through the subway, they'd shake you down and they'd rob you. I mean, it was
that's Chicago.
But maybe that's Chicago. I'm not arguing with that. My point is, but that went away. New York was super safe.
When did you go to Chicago?
Like last summer.
I don't know. I think you just must have had a nice experience because
I did. I was shocked.
Yeah, Chicago, I would argue, is having grown up there versus living in New York for 5 years. New York was
never been to Chicago.
When I would,
he's an anarchist, bro. Of course, you're gonna have exceptions. Yeah, he's not red pilled enough. Yeah, anarchy, bro. Woohoo! I remember being 10, but nah, you gotta conserve shit, man. Like your culture and your wallet. That get with it, bro.
So I lived on the Southwest side, and I'd go to bed, and I don't know, maybe like a couple, maybe once every couple months you hear gunshots ringing out, someone gangbangers shooting somebody nearby. We all knew somebody, like the high school fight, people brought guns.
Okay.
My buddy, I was on the phone with him
fun.
when I was like 16, and he lived on 63rd in California, and he said, "Yo, I saw two guys dragging a carpet with legs sticking out. The next day they found a dead body in a carpet."
Sure.
So I've been shot at randomly for no reason. Me and my brother were driving off of Independence on 290. We took a left, and the guy just pointed his car, a gun at, bang, and fired at us.
I'm not at all
Randomly for no reason.
like diminishing your lived experience. I'm just saying that I was surprised as a New Yorker how safe I felt in Chicago this past summer.
The point I'm trying to make is not that my lived experience is being diminished. It's that you had a comfortable experience in a wealthy neighborhood. But if you actually went to any of the actual regular neighborhoods, you probably would have been like, "Holy crap, this place is."
I noticed in Manhattan, like
Yeah, I mean, like I've been to big cities, and I've never felt unsafe ever. Never witnessed crime. I've been a victim of crime, like maybe like a break-in, but I'm sure I'm glad. I'm just really glad I'm a man, and I'm white, and I got a big set of balls and a giant dick swinging between my legs. So it helps me a lot. Wait. White male privilege? No.
Like around the 2010s, that the violence.
I'm starting to think way too
everywhere.
much.
De Blasio, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
The
by design.
The videos out of Chicago where they like rammed the department stores, the cars, and then run in and steal everything and run out. I mean, my friends who live there say it's worse than they've ever seen it.
Is that right?
Yeah, that they have to they're building barricades in front of buildings now because cars are trying to ram the department stores. 13-year-old kids are running around areas with guns.
No,
that's
Bro,
Mad Max. That's
I gotta tell you, like having been all over New York, I was never worried at all. It was laughable.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm just saying, I as a New Yorker, former New Yorker, I was surprised that there would be localized violence in Chicago because in New York it's not localized. That there would be any safe areas given Chicago's reputation. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
because like the death rate, you hear the death rate. How many shootings?
And also all the trajectories in the wrong direction. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a nightmare.
Well,
fine. I'll even pull up where I stay. I'll tell you right now.
A really interesting thing about Chicago is when they had the mayoral election for Brandon Johnson. I overlaid the
What's his approval rating with 13%?
It's less than that.
Okay.
It's almost zero. When I pulled up the electoral map for who voted for whom, I also pulled up racial demographics by neighborhood, and guess what? It's a 1-for-1 overlay.
Is that right?
Except for one location in the city, Loyola University. So when you look at a neighborhood, this is the funniest thing. If the neighborhood was white, they voted for the white guy in first place. If the neighborhood was black, everyone they voted for was black. I'm not kidding. If you look at a black neighborhood in Chicago. So here's what I did. I said, here are the top candidates. You had Brandon Johnson. You had
Is it so like out of the ordinary though? I'm tired of this liberal, this fake guy. I'm over him. Marathon speech. Republican wins congressional seat, Florida. Dode Senate hearing.
Oh, our car's value.
Shut
Maybe we
up.
should track all our cars' value on Carvana.
All of them?
All of
the 0.002% of people in America who apparently are trans people. We're not talking about undocumented immigrants.
Fake.
And we certainly are not talking about anointing an unelected
This right-wing
naturalized
cosplay
citizen
really
is
just
not-
shows me
not
how little
born
you
here in
are even
America,
capable of
citizen
sympathy,
who's a
empathy,
billionaire to be able to
right-wing
march in with
viewpoints.
federal marshals.
What cosplay? Tim always says this exact same way. Yeah, he's a broken record.
Even at the direction, and to literally threaten people out of their seats to access our information. So now, if this is not a crime that has been committed, which is what I think it is, then we should have Mr. Musk sitting there explaining to us how going through our Social Security information, our taxpayer information, is going to rid us of the problem of trans people. How it's going to solve, how it's going to reconcile, the majority party's concerned about diversity, equity, and inclusion. What's the plan for excluding people through going through our personal information? It's a non sequitur. And I would yield the last 55
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. If the people wanting to use Social Security nowadays, especially the older you get, are too reliant on it, they should have saved more money before Judge said, "Hey, we're finding all this fraud. We got 150-year-olds collecting Social Security and whatnot, and so we got to start making cuts to it." Maybe people collecting Social Security should have thought about that and saved more money or made more money. And so that way, we don't have to pay more in taxes. Because taxes are bad.
seconds to my good friend, Mr. Larson.
Mr. Larson is recognized.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. And let me say, having a security subcommittee and now being the ranking member, I get upset.
Like, at least Steelman these takes Christ. I mean, I don't know how you expect me to have sympathy or empathy with right-wing viewpoints when many right-wing viewpoints aren't even like rooted in sympathy or empathy to begin with.
We shall see. I based my prediction on the governor's race in 2022, so kind of go back.
What do you got so far?
Maps. He needs 60% at least in Waukesha. He needs at least 60%. Like, that's bare minimum. But it might, I don't know. We'll see in the rest of the state. But Riley Moore has been a member for 30 months. W's in chat for Riley Moore. We don't need Wisconsin to be the next Illinois. Let's go, Brad Schimmel. Yep. All right.
Real American, huh? Election data. Emergency stream keeps winning. Oh, it's old. All right. Well, what else is going on right now? Trump's war on the rule of law. Boring. He can do what he wants. He's the president. He's the king. What else? Trump's Liberation Day. Oh, Marine Le Pen getting arrested for embezzlement. Clearly, they're just, they just discriminatory against fascists in France. So that's very unfortunate. Let's see. Ryan Hall, y'all.
Hi, everyone. Mark Barden here at Sandy Hook Promise.
One of the fucking tape
On
bros.
December 14th, 2012.
Was it?
My 7-year-old son, Daniel, was shot to death in his first grade classroom at Sandy Hook Elementary School.
If you're right-wing, then you emphasize his right-wing viewpoints. I mean, obviously. Nothing to do with empathy and policy. Yeah, I mean, right. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. is the actual right-wing take on Le Pen. Huh? All the other politicians in the EU do this, apparently. What are we talking about?
By frame tomorrow, just like these that are up here in Nebraska tonight. We've got radar indicated 1.5 inch hail moving out of Central City now. Got an official report from the public. This is a photo coming from Facebook of 1.25 inch hail in downtown Central City. That's moving up towards Clarks, Hordeville, and Polk. So y'all get ready for the big hail. And we're continuing to watch our severe thunderstorm down here in Kansas too, in Chautauqua and Cowley counties in Kansas. This one's looking really intense as it comes into Cedarville and surrounding areas. This is,
or a girlfriend or a mom, get that Mother's Day gift box and just order it now. Like, it's built and waited for you.
Oh, he's covering the
And then
Supreme
when you
Court
get it, take
election.
a picture. And if you come back and leave a review, you literally are helping my business in a way that I can't describe. Like, it is, if I end up with 100, 200, 300 reviews, we'll sell them all out on Amazon.
Does this guy still pee in his basement, like down the drain, or
Amazon, which we won't make much money, but we'll get 5,000 new customers, hopefully. And then if you don't want the gift box, I've got something for you.
Marine Le Pen being imprisoned? The right-wing take on that is that it's a common thing in the EU, using EU funds for national politics, and that they're targeting her. I mean, yeah. She's right-wing, so makes sense that the EU is doing that. Well, Shapiro, pro-Chauvin, take you coward. What's your take on that, Megan? Do you think Chauvin should be pardoned?
And the links are in the description. Or if you just go to Amazon, you type in coffee brand coffee, you can find one of the items, for example.
All right, I don't want to watch you shilling shit. All right, all right. Shapiro, Derek Chauvin. Sign my petition.
There is one person that President Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. It would be incredibly controversial, but I think that it's absolutely necessary. That person is Derek Chauvin. President Trump should, in fact, pardon Derek Chauvin. He should. He should pardon him his federal charges.
I mean, Ben Shapiro really, really, really hates black people, so I understand why he wants to do so. And he's very, very pro-cop. But I don't know. If Trump wanted to pardon Chauvin, he would have done it in 2020. I don't know. I say go for it. Like, what does Trump have to lose? Pardon him. Who gives a fuck? Give him his job back. Make him, I mean, who cares?
If we're talking about reversing the evils of the last several years in American life, obviously,
yeah,
COVID and its handling was a massive evil.
Well, no,
destroyed the economy, set us on a path to fiscal insanity, destroyed children.
What the hell are you talking about? Ben Shapiro, pro-black. When has he ever said a pro-black thing in his life? The man understands that, like black people are like 13% of the population, yet they commit 52% of the crime. I know how to read statistics properly. That's what the FBI said, right? So, what does he have to say?
Led to massive health-related cover-ups, just horrifying all the way around. And President Trump has taken on a lot of those things. But when it came to BLM, the inciting event for the BLM riots that caused $2 billion in property damage in the United States and set America's race relations on their worst footing in my lifetime, was in fact the railroading of Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. The evidence demonstrates that Derek Chauvin did not, in fact...
I mean, Megan, black people are scary. They should go away.
...commit murder of George Floyd. George Floyd was high on... He had a significant pre-existing heart condition. George Floyd was saying he could not breathe before he was even out of the car. He was in the car saying he could not breathe. Derek Chauvin, for a large segment of even the tape that was shown, had his knee on George Floyd's shoulder or back, not on his neck.
Oh, okay. So we're just lying. I mean, why can't you just be honest and say that he killed him? Like, yeah, Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd, but he should still be pardoned. There we go. That's that's all you have. Be honest. You don't have to lie about the case. If you want to be real, just say that. Senate stands adjourned. Blah blah blah. Let's see. Who else we got? How about the Crowder review where he takes the knee on his back for 9 minutes? Yeah, because he was taking the knee on his back. Like he was taking a knee on his back, not actually like if Crowder really wanted to like recreate that scene, he would have actually had the knee on his neck like in the video. How you can't hide? I knew it. What? Knew what? What are you talking about? Okay. Do we really have to watch? Okay. Derek Chauvin clip knee on George Floyd. Showing jurors route. Let's see. Yeah, look at this. Age restricted video. How about we actually just play the damn thing? Oh my god. Why isn't this playing? Okay, look at this. Right here. His knee is on his neck. I mean, who cares, honestly, but it won't play. It won't play. Prior ones include comparisons from the clip and the position. Jesus Christ, why would you subject people to this? To what? If Shapiro wants Chauvin to be pardoned, fine. Like Trump can do it. Like bring on the chaos. Watch the liberal meltdown. Like see this guy who was convicted under Trump. Was it under Trump? No, I think it was early in Biden's administration, but like even before Trump's administration, his first term was over, he could have given this guy a pardon, and he didn't. So glad the Floyd clip wouldn't play. Why? You stay in prison on state charges? Yeah, I guess you're right. And whatever. I mean,
And back in the day, it was
I don't know why it wouldn't even let me play it, but the fuck?
Not exist and starting to build an identity around things that are not real.
When I gave you Dianetics, it was a joke. You weren't supposed to read it.
That is not in Dianetics. I read Dianetics. Actually, I read the first chapter of Dianetics, and then I laughed and put it down. Have you ever read it?
No, I have not.
It's crafty.
My friend Steph, who I went to Japan with, this is one of my favorite stories about her. When she was like 5 or 6, she'd watch these like live action shows, and the person like a Mickey Mouse costume or
what else should I watch?
And she'd be like, "Why are they talking that
Name
person in a
something.
dog suit as if it's a dog? Are they trying to trick me? I'm seeing right through them," because she thought it was deception, as opposed to like suspension of disbelief.
Deception.
Yes, like oh, it's not really.
I think anthropomorphized animals in shows cause identity disorders in young people.
Look, you think they're gonna make your kid an otherkin?
No, a furry.
Oh, like Elon Musk. Yeah, Trump wasn't trying to do that right before the election. I mean, why not? They rigged it against him anyway. right? So everyone watched the Crowder thing or finished the Shapiro clip. All right. Son of a bitch.
What if everything?
Fuck you. Yes.
There is one person that President Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. It would be incredibly controversial,
It's not fun
but I
to
think
keep
that it's
suggesting
absolutely
anymore.
necessary.
I'm sorry.
That person is Derek Chauvin. President Trump.
And politics aren't even really supposed to be fun. But, I mean, who knows? It's about to get even crazier. And, yeah, I know how it works. It's going to get crazier, though. So, yeah, politics are fun. Yeah, if you're on the winning side like me and you. Yeah, winning when it's politics, it's fun. But when you're not winning, it's dismal, absolute despair.
Trump should, in fact, pardon Derek Chauvin. He should. He should pardon him his federal charges. If we are talking about reversing the evils of the last several years in American life, obviously COVID and its handling was a massive evil. Destroyed the economy, set us on a path to fiscal insanity, destroyed children.
Yeah, and they blame Trump for that, even though COVID started under Trump. Like, give the guy a break. He didn't know what he was doing. I mean, it was Biden's fault.
Led to massive health-related cover-ups. Just horrifying all the way around. And President Trump has taken on a lot of those things. But when it came to BLM...
If I want to have been Rand Paul, what do you mean? What does that mean?
The inciting event for the BLM riots that caused $2 billion in property damage in the United States and set America's race relations on their worst footing in my lifetime was, in fact, the railroading of Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd.
No, clearly, Megan, it was Joe Biden's fault because he didn't do enough to help the effects of the pandemic. And also, it was a lab leak, and he kept Fauci around, and it was all bad. And, yeah.
The evidence demonstrates that Derek Chauvin did not, in fact, commit murder of George Floyd. George Floyd was high on... He had a significant pre-existing heart condition. George Floyd was saying he could not breathe before he was even out of the car. He was in the car saying he could not breathe. Derek Chauvin, for large segments of even the tape that was shown, had his knee on George Floyd's shoulder or back, not on his neck. The autopsy of George Floyd showed that he had no damage to his trachea, that probably George Floyd died of excited delirium. There were no accusations, even at trial, that Derek Chauvin had committed a hate crime against George Floyd or that he targeted George Floyd because of his race. Nonetheless, on the basis of extraordinarily scanty evidence, and despite the fact that there was massive pressure on the jury, that the mayor of Minneapolis paid a settlement to the George Floyd family immediately, that the president of the United States suggested that Derek Chauvin was guilty right off the bat, that the jurors were being openly threatened and admitted as much. Despite all of that,
I'll get better.
Derek Chauvin was convicted on federal charges and pled guilty to federal charges. Derek Chauvin should, in fact, be pardoned on that. We will be covering that a lot more in coming weeks because I think it is worthwhile to remember that there is a man who is rotting in prison because the media decided in the middle of 2020 that they were going to turn a tragic law enforcement stop that ended with the death of a man who had a significant problem with drugs and pre-existing health problems into the raison d'etre of the entire 2020 election. And it led to vast chaos. It led to, again, the destruction of racial comedy in the United States, $2 billion in property damage, and a guy rotting in prison who the evidence demonstrates certainly was not guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in that case. If we're going to talk about delivering...
Yeah, it's really weird because, like, it went through a trial and everything, and he was guilty on all three charges. Like, I think it was man 2, man 3, and murder 3. I believe. And so, I mean, yeah, Ben seems to be convinced that like that's all complete and total bullshit. I mean, maybe he knows something that we don't, but yeah. Raison d'être is French for reason for being. Where in the hell did that come from? I have no idea what you're referring to. After the jury was intimidated, you're ignoring his rationale. Oh, okay. You recover that. Keep up.
Pardons President Trump, I think, should really seriously consider pardoning on federal charges. He can't pardon on state charges. Derek Chauvin, who is convicted of the murder of George Floyd. As I say, we will be covering this pretty extensively in the coming weeks. Right now, you should go to Pardon Derek.
Does Ben feel like humiliated over, like that whole thing? It's like, it's an interesting thing to be like, this is what I'm going to hang my hat on, something that happened 5 years ago. It's just like, well, I maybe there's something to it. I mean, was he even part of the trial? Raison d'être. Okay. I still don't know where that word is coming from and why it's being used.
.com and sign our petition asking President Trump to grant justice to Officer Derek Chauvin. That is pardon, P-A-R-D-O-N, Derek.com, P-A-R-D-O-N-D-E-R-E-K.com. Well, folks, tonight, Daily Wire Backstage returns live for President Donald Trump's address to a joint session of Congress. We are covering it all like never before with Matt Walsh and me, live from D.C. Do not miss the exclusive pre-show at 8.
Okay. Let's bring this thing up real quick. Let me share screen. Shapiro really needs to shut the fuck up. All that Harvard education all he has to do for his talk like an Oompa Loompa. Hey, he's doing his best, okay? You leave him alone. He's doing all right. All right, let's share the screen. Daily Wire. Pardon Derek Chauvin. Sign the petition. All right. I'm realizing I shouldn't use my name and email over stream. Otherwise, I'd just fill it out right here. But I guess we'll continue the video, I suppose.
8:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by the full address, completely uninterrupted. And when he's done, we're back with a breakdown of what it all means. Watch with us tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Daily Wire Plus.
Elon should lay off ketamine and Ben should lay off the helium. Oh, like the drug? He does sound like he huffs helium quite a lot. What is this?
President Trump announced a little bit earlier this week that he wants to posthumously pardon baseball legend Pete Rose. He wrote in a Saturday Truth Social post, quote, Major League Baseball didn't have the courage or decency to put the late, great Pete Rose, also known as Charlie Hustle, into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now he's dead. Will never experience the thrill of being selected, even though he was a far better player than most of those who made it and can only be named posthumously. What a shame. And he said that he will be signing a complete pardon of Pete Rose, who shouldn't have been gambling on baseball, but...
Oh, yeah, no, he made a couple different videos. They're too long, though. I'm not going to watch them.
Only bet on his team winning. He never bet against himself or the other team. He had the most hits by far in baseball history and won more games than anyone.
Okay, so the rest of the clip's not about it anymore? Okay. All right. Stephen Crowther. George Floyd reenactment. This is too long as well. What? Oh, now I can't even click on it. God damn it. Let's see here.
just like with Epstein, I am going to be a human experiment here because I don't buy it. It's time for me to go outside and live on concrete,
yeah, whatever you want.
neon neck / shoulder for 9 minutes. Okay, so for people who what we're going to do here, and again, like Gerald just set up, hopefully Lando gets back from his pee, or otherwise he just doesn't want to be involved with this segment.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out.
Look, this is right here because we did this last week where I showed you, as someone who, and a lot of people out there, you can comment if you've been involved with any grappling sports. These aren't uncommon positions, right? Pinning positions.
Yeah.
We did it in the studio, and people say, well, that was on carpet, and you didn't do it for that long. I don't want to do this, but again, the point is the drugs, the agitation, the actively resisting arrest, the 3.5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl matters. I don't expect this to be pleasant, but I think that people need to see what it's like with the closest to, controlled conditions that we can recreate as far as body mass, weight, situation, to see what it actually might be like if someone is not in an agitated, significantly overdosed state. That's the reason for this, and no camera tricks, no cuts. I believe you'll have me on the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm going to lay down here. We'll have people restrained. So Token Allen is...
Oh, you got to step back towards the building there.
Back
You're going out of range. There you go. Step back towards...
is it the microphone that's out of range?
Right
okay,
there.
there you go.
Get on with it.
Yes, we can.
Yep. Is Dave back yet?
You're a little
Piece to
hard.
my other...
Do you?
So let me know when you guys are ready to start.
All right, I'm ready to go when you are.
Yep.
He's got to pee. How do you think George Floyd felt?
Do you see ContraPoint's QAnon analysis? I haven't watched her QAnon, the conspiracy video yet. Wait separate day on hot concrete and asphalt. Yeah, I mean, Crowder did a piss poor job at reenacting this, honestly. Carrying the weights is valuable, I feel like. I mean, sure.
But let's go with 2:30.
There you go.
Hey.
So the microphone needs to stay
I don't think
about
you need
where
to
you
doesn't
are.
matter all that much. Even Brendan is weighing himself. It doesn't matter. And there, Joe.
I think the microphone needs to stay roughly where you are right there. We get a
Let me
little...
stay roughly where I am. Okay, Brendan, can you remove the scale here? All right, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me while I'm on the ground here. Just again, that's not going to make any difference here. It's not going to make any difference.
He's trying.
Make sure you put the handcuffs on my wrist, not on my...
Why do conservatives sound so annoying? I feel like I could sell this shit so much better and not sound like a whiny 7th grader. Honestly, it's like why pay these guys when you can just pay me?
So Finnegan, come here and hold this microphone because I don't think that microphone works. All right. I'm on my wrist. Okay. All right. So can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Is Dave back yet?
No, he is not. I think he's
By the way, these are much smaller handcuffs than actual. Put them around my wrist enough for him. These are much smaller handcuffs than actual handcuffs, just so you know.
Dave's back.
So these handcuffs actually have less room, like a little bit more distance. Okay. Now I'm going to echo my own sound here. Okay, I'm going to lay down.
I was hoping I'd be part of this.
What?
You okay?
You want to face this way?
Now, hey, Steven, have somebody move your earpiece to the other ear because they'll be kneeling right where it's attached to your shirt.
Okay, move your piece to my other ear.
Yeah.
Well, the point is I can't have it on my stomach. So
Well, whatever you need to do, go ahead. Let them do the thing.
Trying to not bring my mic back.
There you go. Okay, gotcha. All
Okay.
right.
I really have to pee too. So,
You?
so when you guys are ready to start?
I'm ready to go when you are.
Yep.
He's got to pee. How do you think George Floyd felt?
Stop it.
I'm just saying.
Well, hold on a second. They didn't say to start the timer.
We're ready to
Ready?
be
And 3, 2, 1.
Okay, all right. So
Timer down.
Neil.
Kneel on my back, here, shoulder.
Pause timer.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Here we go. Now I'll roll it back.
Actually, what I
Right,
thought
there we
was
go.
the best
It's
shoulder.
not.
So,
What? Hold on. Hold on. Eric Chauvin, George Floyd, Neil. Video. Yeah, look right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's much different than this. Look.
my left shoulder right now is popped out of the socket. But
It's 5 seconds in and you don't.
I mean, Crowder's a giant man baby. Like, and hit, like, just ask his wife. Like, this is not the conservative to look up to for sure. Like, this clown's knees are not only on his spine right here, not his neck. One of them is also on his back, not full body weight. If you look right here.
What do you want? I can breathe.
Yeah, look right here. One of his knees are not on his back, so like he's leaning forward into this. Derek Chauvin's leading into killing this guy, basically. Whereas, oh my God.
What do you want? I can breathe.
and you don't like it.
Yeah, look at this. There's no comparison whatsoever.
Neil.
Neil, on my neck, your shoulder, up, plus the timer.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
There we go.
Now, look, he's just like squatting there. Yeah. Let's see. Comparing the ways of her. ContraPoints. Yeah, the you're talking about the conspiracy video, right? What was that? The one still conservative one on Hippy Dippy? I don't know. So the photo you could rewind like 5 seconds instead of doing all that. Oh well, whatever. It's not how Neil on his next show did it more aggressively to add more pressure and for much longer too. It's possible for he shared a comparison is taken later in the video. I have no idea. Yeah.
Back.
I have a bad shoulder. So my left shoulder right now is popped out of the socket. But
It's 5 seconds in and you don't like it.
Yeah, no,
Already complete.
Hey, you know what, Dave? Sometimes you deserve to be arrested.
That's true.
He's specifically meaning you, Dave.
No, yeah, my response is agreement.
I think they were lower on the legs there, Brendan.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think they were more like on the hamstring area.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. So uncomfortable position for sure. It's supposed to be restrained. Stephen, can you talk to us a little bit? Can you breathe?
Yeah, no, I can talk to you. I have more of a spasm in my neck, and my neck's been sore for a couple of days.
Okay.
Like I said, what really hurts is my left shoulder just because of a nagging shoulder injury. In fact, I took it out and put the cuffs on my forearms, not on my wrist.
Again, he did that?
Yeah, he put them on perpendicular to where my wrist goes, as opposed to actually putting them. So he made it needlessly unpleasant. Thanks for that, Token.
Is this how he was cuffed then? Do we have it properly?
I think it was proper. Well, I think what he's saying is his work is worse. Yeah.
I think they cuffs like properly. I think I have producers, not police officers. telling me
Well, I mean,
Now the knee
yeah,
down
that's what they do.
Trained, though, which would
Oh God,
It's
no,
what
Dave.
you're supposed
I
to
sound
do.
trained. What a surprise!
well, now
For people watching, I'm not saying this is pleasant. I'm asking, would this kill someone?
Right. Now,
we don't know
it
yet.
looks like his right knee is on your back more than Chauvin's was. I'm not sure if that's exactly where his knee was for Tokenawa. I'm not sure. Do we have a
There's new evidence coming in, so I don't really know.
You know, if Crowther really wanted to recreate this thing, he would have ingested 3 times the legal, like the lethal dose of fentanyl, right? You know,
well,
I can pull the photo back up.
Pull the photo for any changes.
I don't want to cover up the
Okay,
story.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, good idea. I was just seeing something.
Here, I can put it in the lower third. Give me
Not on the.
Wait, why am I going to George Floyd was able to move his head back and forth?
he correctly gendered ContraPoints. ContraPoints is trans? What? The hell are you talking about? That's a woman. That's a woman. What the hell are you talking about? No, that's a woman. ContraPoints is a woman. I have no idea what you're talking about. Because arguing the fentanyl changes the circumstances. So are you okay? The claim is that because he was high on fentanyl, that contributed to his death. So would he have died if his windpipe wasn't being crushed for 9 minutes? I don't know about that. Can we talk about something relevant? Can we talk about something that's current, I suppose you could say?
Wix gives you the freedom to tell your story.
What's Matt Walsh talking about? What's he been saying? Testifying in California. We have to go through Cynthia M. Rivo's recent speech and make fun of it.
That's not every day that I find myself sympathizing.
Well, I mean, 3.19 million people are subscribed to this, so there must be some substance to it.
With the organization that calls itself GLAAD, which is short for the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation. These are people who, contrary to their branding, smear and defame other people for a living, including myself. They're as radical and unpleasant as any other fake non.
Well, sure. I mean, I guess. I mean, I already said that Trump should do it. Oh yeah, I watched him testify. That was today. It's good to see that Matt Walsh is spending his time on the things that people really care about, the things that matter.
nonprofit that traffics in gender ideology. The day GLAAD is finally shut down will be a major victory for sanity and free speech and everything else in this country. But today, I have to admit that I do have some semblance of pity for these people. And that's because I saw some clips from something called the GLAAD Media Awards, which is an annual ceremony in which they give awards to entertainers who advance the LGBT agenda in some way. And as I saw the footage from the other day, it occurred to me that this is probably one of the hardest award shows to pull off simply because it's redundant in every imaginable way. The Oscars and Grammys have already taken place. And that means that gay...
I didn't know he played banjo. Has he ever played the banjo? Has he ever taken the banjo from the back there and actually played it?
Men and liberal women have already convened this year multiple times to shower each other with awards based on their respective sexual identity.
He's like, wish me luck going to California. I mean, it's really not that bad. It's a decent. It's not a bad state. More interesting than this slop. Literally, who fucking cares? Never seen it. Maybe one of his many kids. Huh. So he just has it sitting back there for just as a prop. Well, that's lame. Like, if you're gonna prop it up, like, you should at least like know how to work your fingers on it.
Identities and orientations. Billie Eilish and that trans actor who plays the singing drug dealer have already had their time in the spotlight. And after both of those award shows, GLAAD.
I've been to Sacramento multiple times. Like, it's a fine city. The fact that Matt Walsh is still talking about the LGBTQI has been thinking he might be in the closet. That's actually a good point. Methinks he doth protest too much. And you can never be too sure with these conservative pundits. And that's why I'm saying I could do this shit better than Matt Walsh. I can do this shit better than Steven Crowder. 100%. It's like every single one of them are just so obsessed with the trans issues. Just like, or you know, anything remotely LGBTQ related, like the LGBTQ agenda. It's just like, you sure you're not just in the closet there, bud? You seem to be giving a whole lot of energy to this. It's just like, I get it. Like, you're against degeneracy and people different from you, which is fine. Like, you're conservative. Like, people different from you are fucking scary and weird and wrong, and you want to correct that. You know, I totally get it, because like you want to put yourself first. You want to protect your family because you don't understand this thing. But you end up talking about it too much. It's just like, maybe you're hiding something. Maybe you're compensating something. Never seen banjo, but probably given that pathetic bookshelf. You're gonna have to type a bit better than that, sweetie. Check out Andrew Clavin for the based bookshelf backdrop. I don't care about bookshelves because I don't like to read. Just like I don't like the Department of Education. Matt Walsh doesn't cuss for one. Curious about futas. What are futas? Look at that bookshelf. It sucks as hell. Yeah, conservatives don't read. Like, why? I mean, so might as well put, a child's book, a toy, a mug, a hat, a fleshlight. I'm not gonna judge, but Knowles and Cleveland have excellent book knowledge and collections. Oh, I heard Knowles might be gay, so that checks out. Those are things from his show. Yeah, it checks out.
That is left to basically do the same thing. So they are, once again, hosting a gay award show, except, of course, they have a much lower budget at the GLAAD Media Awards. And in practice, that means we get mildly entertaining moments like this one, where in a moment of inspiration, the lesbian rapper known as Doechii, I think, decided to perform a couple of lines from one of her songs without the benefit of a backing track of any kind. And in the process, she proved that she, of course, can't actually sing. Watch.
The GLAAD.
Well, wait, hold on. Is she a singer or is she a rapper? What? So wait, what are we supposed to be complaining about here?
Yeah. Award goes to.
Oh, hey, it's the gay guy. It's Lil Nas X.
You say it.
No, let's say it together. Let's say it together.
Okay.
Doji!
What?
She actually had a really fucking hilarious, I don't know if it was a TikTok or Instagram reel or what, basically saying, I'm gonna fart. And that's just my body. I'm a woman. You don't need to make a big deal out of it. It was just, it's like, it was so deadpan. It was actually like really fucking funny.
Put the money in my hands. I'm in Gucci.
I like Doji. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
What's up, Glad Awards?
Mr. Lone Wolf, I wouldn't be surprised if his phone's locked off gallery app has a couple. Yeah.
Now, in case you couldn't make it out, the lyrics were "Put the mother effing money in my mother effing hands. I'm in."
Women don't fart. Is that true? Oh, it must just be black women. I think it's just black women that fart. Why aren't you drunk, conservative? Because I am saving all my money to go to Las Vegas, which you won't bother coming with me along for the ride for the trip. So
Gucci in a bonnet, spending mother effing bands. Now, when she performed her song at the Grammys a few months ago, Doechii had the benefit of elaborate stage lighting, about 1,000 backup dancers, a bunch of synthetic audio enhancements. But at the GLAAD Awards, she's just a semi-literate woman screaming profanities at you, which of course she was the entire time. At the same time, there was one alleged entertainer at the GLAAD Awards who, against all odds, managed to make Doechii look.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a woman, if you're going to be at an award show, if you like, you shouldn't be shouting vulgarities. Honestly, it's unbecoming of a woman, and it's very inappropriate. I don't see why you would like. For one, that you're even going to be a guest at an award show, or you're going to be nominated for an award for anything, when your primary role as a woman should be a homemaker and reproducing and making children for your husband, who should be your only partner and the person that you give your virginity to, 100%.
Like Shakespeare. I'm talking about the actress Cynthia Erivo, who starred in the film Wicked, which is some kind of takeoff of the Wizard of Oz. And during the GLAAD Award ceremony, Cynthia managed to deliver a speech that was vacuous and incoherent, even by
Seagrams is like $5 a handle. What? Okay. Well, you want to get me a beer from the fridge then? Get over here. Coke way more expensive. Yeah, I mean, no comment.
award show standards. Just absolute perverse. Doechii looked like Shakespeare. I'm talking about the actress Cynthia Erivo, who starred in the film Wicked, which is some kind of takeoff of the Wizard of Oz. And during the GLAAD Award ceremony, Cynthia managed to deliver a speech that was vacuous and incoherent, even by award show standards. Just absolute pablum from start to finish. But you wouldn't know that if you got your news from the mainstream press. For reasons that aren't entirely clear, various media outlets have lavished this speech with over-the-top praise. CNN, for example, said that Cynthia's speech was inspiring. They also posted the full transcript of the speech on their website, like it was the State of the Union address or something. Meanwhile, USA Today called the speech a tearjerker. Yahoo called it powerful, and so on and so on and so on. And, you know,
Michael Knowles does a segment answering questions and encourages dating non-virginal women. Well, yeah, because Michael Knowles is gay.
what that means, of course, we have to go through Cynthia's speech piece by piece and make fun of it. It's my duty. It's why this segment exists. Yes, so we're going to extract some entertainment and so on.
I would gladly bring you a beer, but that's more expensive. True Trad Life will brew beer for you barefoot with a child on her hip. What are you trying to tell me? Trying to tell me that that's like the real, true, actual goal here, or, you know, because I'm unopposed.
So on and so on and so on. And you know what that means, of course. We have to go through Cynthia's speech piece by piece and make fun of it. It's my duty. It's why this segment exists. Yes, so we're going to extract some entertainment value against all odds from the GLAAD Awards if we can. And to that end, behold the beginning of Cynthia's remarks. If you're a mainstream media journalist, steel yourself because the tears are about to start.
Okay, well, why the fuck haven't we started the company yet? You know, we'll move to Florida. We'll hire some children because child labor laws have been loosened up there. We can literally hire kids now. We'll pay them like $10 an hour, maybe $5 an hour. Teach them, the ups and downs of the machinery and whatnot, and bada bing, bada boom, we got a successful beer business. Greens are expensive, and I hate beer, so I can't be a taste tester. I can. That's loser speak. You're not a loser. You can give up that easily. I'll be a taste tester. Who gives a shit? If you, I mean, you know how to brew beer, but you're not even gonna bother tasting your own shit. Not for liquor license business, obviously. In Florida, less friendly for liquor production than in California. I mean, that's a good point. I guess we'll just have to lobby California to loosen labor laws for children. Oregon probably would be the go-to. Well, whatever works. Hey, Beer, I'm very sad to hear that. You sound very anti-American.
Flowing. Listen.
Here in this room, we have all been the recipients of the gift that is the opportunity to be more. I doubt that it has come easy to any of us, but more. For some, the road has not been one paved with yellow bricks, but instead paved with bumps and potholes.
This is worth reading out loud one more time. And as I read this, keep in mind that somebody was paid to write it. And then Cynthia read it, and then the entire corporate media celebrated it. She says, quote, "Here in this room, we have all been the recipients of the gift that is the opportunity to be more. I doubt that it has come easy to any of us, but more for some. The road has not been one paved with yellow bricks, but instead paved with bumps and potholes." Now, the more I read this particular passage, the more it becomes clear that there's really only one explanation for its existence. Cynthia must have hired Kamala Harris's speechwriter. If Kamala Harris were the president today,
Yeah, this guy's actually hella funny. Why haven't I been watching him this whole time? It's like, for one, I have no idea like what the point of this segment is, or why we're covering it, or why it's relevant, or why we're making fun of it. But damn, that's a hella fucking funny joke. Damn.
today, there's no doubt whatsoever that we'd be hearing about how everyone in the room is the recipient of the gift that is the opportunity to be more. It's like perfect Kamalaism right there. Then we'd be hearing about how the roads are paved with potholes, as if that's a normal part of the process of road construction. You see, when you're mixing metaphors and your IQ is below 80, you find yourself making mistakes like this. You start sputtering out lines that, of course, make no sense whatsoever. Aging creeps into everyday life in ways you hardly notice at first.
What a perfect time for an ad read, you know? All right.
First, the morning takes a bit long. I clearly don't age and off getting in essence with this what middle. You only need the sun and use comms to bring this up.
Snap your W-2
right.
and file your taxes 100%
cover something
free.
of substance
Plus, get your
because,
biggest
like, if I'm
refund.
going to take
File free now.
over
Roughly 37% of
Matt
filers
Walsh's
qualify.
job,
Simple Form 1040
I need
returns
to
only.
learn like
Powerful speech.
what not to do, and segments about nothing, covering nobody, nitpicking little things as if it's something substantive or substantial. I think that should be avoided. Being a conservative commentator. What do you guys think of the name Real Patriot? Do you think that's a good new channel name? Mermaids are actually translucent was a good one. Is that a lager? Is that a beer? What is that? I'm not really paying attention because I will listen to this tomorrow. Listen to my stream? Good. I mean, because this video, you're really not missing much at all. He hasn't really said anything. Mr. Lone Wolf, well, she's not wrong. I mean, he's reading from the teleprompter, so trying to make a common joke makes him look like a hypocrite. Yeah, he's clearly reading from a script, and like it's just written so poorly. Too generic. What is? Black Ariel went Walsh comment. Listen to Walsh. So network skip boring shit like this segment. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's super boring. I mean, that Kamala joke was a fucking knee slapper and a half. Like, but everything else is just like, kill me. Repatriate Tuesday. Yeah, I see. Okay, well, I'll figure something out. Tell Dieter to go back. He's busy.
This is where things start getting heavy, and she begins talking about invisible people who lurk among us. Sounds, kind of frightening. But
Online
here it is, watch.
debates.
Whichever road
Black
you have
Ariel.
traveled, how beautiful.
Oh yeah, I mean, mermaids can't be black because mermaids aren't real. At least I'm pretty sure. I've never seen one, but his previous name was better. Matt Walsh's name?
It is that you've had a road to travel on at all. There are the invisible ones who have had no road at all. For those who have not even yet to begin to
Literally take it. Walsh gave like word for word. But what was he? So like, oh, Dieter's previous name. I see. So like, what? Why was he upset about? Why was he covering it? Like, for not being drunk, you're not following well. I am very stupid. I lost a lot of my brain cells transitioning to this vapid ideology. Also, I'm tired. Might wrap it up after this video.
find the road. Be encouraged and be patient with yourself. It will show itself. For the person who is searching and searching and has not found it yet. This room is full of people who can and will, if they choose, and I hope they will, because I do, to be lanterns, to light up your journey and your path on the way to showing the world who you are.
So let's chart
You
this the best we
pretend I'm
can.
laughing.
She says, whichever road you have traveled, how beautiful it is that you've had a road to travel on at all. There are the invisible ones who have no road at all. In other words, there are invisible ones who do not have any road to travel. That means they have no path, period. They can't.
Fake personality. You have good knowledge of. What are you talking about? Fake personality. You're being mean. You're being mean to me. You're not taking my transition seriously, and I don't think you're very supportive. And shame on you.
Can't see the road because it's not there. And additionally, no one can see these invisible ones because they're invisible. So there's no road. They're invisible. It's a tough situation to be in. Circumstances are pretty dire in the metaphor that Kamala Harris, the speechwriter, has established. But then we get this line, quote, for those who have not yet even begun to find the road, be encouraged and be patient with yourself. It will show itself. Which adds a couple of layers of complexity to the situation. Now we're told that if the invisible people are patient, then the road will show itself. And this is the same road that a second ago supposedly didn't exist at all, according to Cynthia.
I'll be honest, I'm completely checked out from this. He's just not interesting at all. How can 3.19 million people be subscribed to this and think they're getting like top-notch, top-tier conservative takes? It's just like I'm beyond bored. Like what substantive things does he actually have to say? Come on, Daily Wire. Fucking hire my ass. I can do way better than this. For real. This segment sucks. Yeah, I mean, don't most of his segments suck? Watch his testimony. You'd have to pay me to watch that entire stream of him doing the testimony. She's the weakest segment. It was what, like his newest one. I mean, what do you want me to do? He's boring as fuck. Seems he's trolling. Hello, Jeff. The testimony's like 1.5 minutes. What? Matt Walsh testifies in California. Stop letting men destroy women's sports. 1 hour and 10 minutes. see here. Jeff, he's trolling. Obviously, it's April Fool's Day. I have no idea what you're talking about, Megan. Like you've been on this thing. Like you're being silly. He does like 2 weeks that are worthless. I can't find like an actual like snippet of his actual testimony. And what is he testifying against? Like, did someone transgender like hurt his feelings or something like that? Your conservatism is pathetic. You know, we can go over my video again if you want. Like, at least Dieter earlier actually asked me what I believe. Like, I gave pretty succinct answers. You're welcome to revisit and rewatch. Transport stuff, huh? So Matt Walsh is a victim of transport stuff? Let's see. Yeah, I don't see how he gets so many views on all these videos when he doesn't even say anything during them at all. Like, he's not entertaining. He's not very smart. I can do this shit better than he can, by far. Ben Shapiro as well. The quartering, boring, kind of a weirdo. Tim Pool, broken record. He says the same thing all the damn time. He's not very smart. Just like, damn, don't you want cheerleaders for Trump? Don't you want actual like fucking conservatives who understand exactly what they're talking about? Charlie Kirk, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. People like Charlie Kirk, people who actually like believe in the shit that they're saying and don't actually care how cringe they look. You know, people that have some fucking balls and some energy. Some Bill. Knowles and Shapiro, both Ivy League. Michael Knowles is gay. Yeah, Shapiro, I don't know, he's Jewish. And you know what they say about Jewish people, right? They're pretty cool. Let's see here. Who's Clavin? Andrew Clavin. Let's see.
As we all know, in last November's presidential election, Donald Trump defeated what's-her-name and left Democrats trailing Republicans in popularity by a margin of approximately everybody to
well
nothing.
read.
Now Democrats are trying.
But conservatives are anti-education. How can he be incredibly well read? This guy calls himself a conservative. What a fucking disgrace.
To find a new way forward that does not involve finding a new way forward. Democrat National Committee Chairman Mao Tse Mohammed Jihad Vladimir Muhammad Allahu Akbar Stalin Jihad Muhammad recently addressed the subject in a speech entitled
What in the what?
Way Forward.
Okay, what is this?
As we all know, in last November's presidential election.
Conservatives are not anti-education. Yeah, they are. They're doing away with the Department of Education right now, and they're going after all the colleges. How, like, they're against the teachers' unions, and they don't think public schools should exist. They're absolutely against they're absolutely anti-education for sure. It's like, why wouldn't they be? Like, you don't want to teach people like more about the world. You want to keep them complacent. You want to keep them in line. Like that's like if you're a good conservative, that's exactly what you want. You want a complacent, complicit population, just smart enough to run the machines and do their jobs and not ask questions. You want obedient workers. You want cogs in the machine that would actually like do jobs and make you profit. You don't want them educated. Straw man is weak. That's not a straw man. That's how conservatives think.
Donald Trump defeated what's her name and left Democrats trailing Republicans in popularity by a margin of approximately everybody to nothing. Now, Democrats are trying to find a new way forward that does not involve finding a new way forward. Democrat National Committee Chairman Mao Tse Mohammed Jihad Vladimir Muhammad Allahu Akbar Stalin Jihad Muhammad recently addressed the subject in a speech entitled, "How Can They Hate Us When We're So Happy?" The speech was delivered to the annual meeting of the Future Illegal...
Is this like a satire thing? Is this like a little story? Is it like a joke, an example?
Alien terrorists who hate America.
So the whole video is a joke. Like, okay, so the formatting is he's in the middle of the joke.
Of America, or the FIATWHA and then another A. Mr. Jihad, who goes by the name of Miss Jihad and uses the pronouns he and be, as in the sentence, he be giving me the heebie-jeebies, told the gathering, quote, "It's time to face up to the truth.
I'm completely lost. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, conservatives are supposed to, like, this is why people don't think conservatives are good at comedy or can be comedians, because it's like the execution here is terrible. I'm already lost. It's like I could do so fucking much better than this guy.
Democrats instigated fatal riots and then pretended they weren't happening. We opened our borders to criminals and terrorists and pretended that wasn't happening. We sexually mutilated children in the name of a perverted fantasy. We censored anyone who disagreed with us and tried to put our political opponents in jail. And we acted with such weakness and incompetence overseas that it inspired our enemies to begin wars in both Europe and the Middle East. Now we must ask ourselves, since we're doing everything perfectly according to plan, why the hell doesn't the public love us like they should?" Unquote. In an attempt to refresh the party's image, the Democrats have turned to 83-year-old Senator Bernie Sanders, a man who lived through the communist gulags of Russia, the communist enslavement of Eastern Europe.
Wait, so he's not in the middle of a joke. And what? And the Democrats haven't turned to Bernie Sanders. He's just doing this tour on his own, and he's not even a Democrat. This guy's brilliant.
The communist slaughter in China and the communist genocide in Cambodia without once changing his opinion that communism works great, especially in Norway, where they don't have it. Sanders has been declared the...
What is this guy even saying? What? Like, this guy is well read? I'm not even halfway through this. I'm just like baffled.
New face of the Democrat Party and has been teamed up with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who has been declared the new rack of the Democrat Party. Asked about this arrangement, Sheldon Whitehouse, the junior...
Just the one joke. So there's just like one little dig there, like, oh, AOC boobs, lol. Guys, conservatives are not sending their best. I could do way better than this guy. I don't know. I might not leave the left after all. Actually, if this is my competition, I'm actually pretty confident in the path forward. I just need to convince whoever pays the Daily Wire and whoever primarily funds it to send like 5 or 6 figures my way.
Your senator from the state of unbelievable corruption said, quote, "With Bernie Sanders as our new face and AOC as our new rack, we will have a hideous old face with a great rack. And that's a winning combination because when you have a great rack, no one looks at your face." Unquote. Sanders and AOC have been traveling from the state of unbelievable corruption, said, quote, "With Bernie Sanders as our new face and AOC as our new rack, we will have a hideous old face with a great rack. And that's a winning combination because when you have a great rack, no one looks at your face." Unquote. Sanders and AOC have been...
Oh, because boobs. Okay. Boobs.
Traveling the country, staging what they call the quote rally in favor of a failed economic system that has led to enslavement and mass wherever it's been tried, but for some reason we still think is great, unquote. The rallies generally open with a ringing speech from Sanders, who tells the crowd, quote, I happen to believe that billionaires should pay their fair share of utterly useless programs that nonetheless convince poor people to vote for us, even as their states and cities descend into apocalyptic dysfunction because of those same programs. I happen to believe that socialism has worked really.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually making a really good point here. I mean, the reason why there's a lot of homeless people is because there are soup kitchens and food stamps and the VA and FEMA. Wait, oh, I mean, all that's actually being taken away, but that's why all these cities are actually turning into shitholes. Like they're not. The programs aren't very good, or they are good and it's what's causing it.
Great, especially in Norway. And I happen to believe that what I happen to believe should happen to matter to every person.
Well, they don't have homeless people in Norway.
Who happens to care what an octogenarian communist just happens to believe. And by the way, here's AOC, and golly, will you look at the rack on that woman?
All right, let's see. What have you been yapping about, Megan? Claim that the Department of Education literally hurt educational outcomes, focus on Marxist perspectives of social issues rather than productive or value-added knowledge. I'd like to see evidence that like there are actually Marxist perspectives in these school books that are literally pre-approved through like Texas scholars or something like that. Yes, you want to add value. No, that doesn't mean no education. That's hilariously disingenuous. I disagree. How are you going to not start at the beginning and complain about being lost? I start at the beginning. Maybe feel less lost, watch that. I slowed it down. There are jokes sprinkled in. They're not that funny. If you're genuinely interested in conservatism, I can send you clips of his that are way better. Yeah, do so. He's obviously speaking on things he's already talked about, and you don't know the previous arguments. I've heard these literal exact same arguments before, time and time again. The liars funded by their audience mainly. That's kind of sad.
Unquote. When Sanders finishes his speech, he turns the microphone over to AOC, who says, quote, I've come here today to say completely nonsensical things in a loud, shrill voice full of make-believe sincerity. All across this country, I see people left behind by capitalism for no other
I think she's sincere. 100%.
reason than that they don't work or contribute to society in any way. It isn't fair. Well, okay, it is actually kind of fair, but it isn't right. And even if it is right, I think there are enough total wastrels who feel entitled to a portion of the wealth created by other people that we might have enough votes to turn this country around. And hey, my eyes are up here. Why aren't you looking in my eyes? Unquote.
Cause woman, cause boobs, lol. Cause AOC attractive woman, lol.
So far, the rallies have been filled with thousands of cheering people, most of them Republicans, who feel they'll never lose an election again.
How old is this guy? Like 72?
And for more Claveny magnificent.
Huh. That was rough. That was really rough. Conservatives can do so much better. Like that was that was embarrassingly bad, actually. Is AOC go back? Well, yeah, real big socialist mommy milkers. Sure. I mean, I I didn't think conservatives were so reductionist, to be honest, but actually, it makes sense. You know, when it comes down to it, conservatives do reduce women to their body parts. You know, it makes sense that a lot of them just want like women to be broodmares for the state and make babies, because we do need more workers in this country. And it's like if women are aborting new employees for all the mega corporations and whatnot, that's really bad. And the state should have a lot more control over the wombs of women and punish them if they terminate the new cogs for capitalism. You can't skip the intro song and then say you start at the beginning, bro. All right, I'll listen to the fucking song.
I've never seen such an amazing cleaning
you.
product. It's just like magic.
This incredible product dissolves oven grease.
As we all know, in last November's presidential election, Donald Trump defeated what's-her-name and left Democrats trailing Republicans in popularity by a margin of approximately everybody to nothing. Now, Democrats are trying to find a new way forward that...
There is no intro song. You say I'm not paying attention. You say I'm lost. Someone else isn't paying attention, I think. She's an idiot. I disagree. Econ degree mixed up Friedman Keynes Israelis is largely due to the tits. No, I don't think that's the case. Didn't she graduate the honors too? I have no idea. Clip no full segment if no intro song. I wouldn't know. Yeah, his jokes are stale and old, and he doesn't really have anything interesting to say. Just a bunch of like straw man fallacies and like it's just like we've heard. I've literally heard every single thing that he's said in that video before. Let's do someone more interesting. Someone, I guess, better. Because like none of these conservatives are impressing me at all. Like I'm gonna have a great time leaving the left if like this is my competition, About Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk destroys the birthright citizenship argument.
The world is waking up to the power of gold. National banks are racing to secure it. In 2024 alone, central banks added over 1,000 tons, the third straight year of net gold buying. Why? Because gold is real money. If your portfolio is over $250,000...
Shut up. He doesn't sound very literary at all, honestly. It's like, why waste your time listening to that guy?
The world is waking up to the power of gold. National banks are racing to secure it. In 2024 alone, central banks added over 1,000 tons, the third straight year of net gold buying. Why? Because gold is real money. Unlike paper currency, gold's value doesn't disappear with inflation, reckless spending, and market crashes. Noble Gold makes it easy to add gold to your portfolio. Right now, when you make a qualified investment, you'll get a free 10-ounce gold coin. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. The world is turning to gold. Shouldn't you be looking into doing that too?
It's crazy how even though Charlie Kirk's like 30, the overwhelming majority of his audience is like over 60, 65.
I'm actually disagrees. Yep. Charlie, how you doing this afternoon? I am proud to be conservative. I'm proud to be American, and I think we would agree on most things. But one thing that I'm here to speak on is
Israel?
Trump's executive order to overturn birthright citizenship.
Oh, okay.
Which you posted on X 2 months ago that the Supreme Court has never reviewed the 14th Amendment regarding birthright citizenship.
Not correctly, yeah.
Have you heard of...
Who quote books from Roman scholars you've never even heard of? Whoop-de-doo, la-di-da.
Wong versus Kim?
This isn't Rome. This is America. Like the Romans, they had an empire and it fell apart, if I remember correctly. So what good is that the scholarliness of them?
Kim Mark.
Yeah,
or
it's
Wong
a
versus
BS
America. What about
I'm drawing from a lot of
Pilot
memory on
versus
this, so I'm gonna have to plead a little bit of
That's fine. I
erosion.
have a shallow understanding. But both of those cases ruled that regardless of national origin, the children of immigrants will become U.S. citizens. It is
not just the children of immigrants it's not just that.
The exception for diplomats.
The children of visitors become U.S. citizens.
Right. And
so for example, a pregnant woman can leave China who's 8 months pregnant, get a 90-day visitor visa, and then her baby becomes a U.S. citizen.
How is it being implemented now? If you come here illegally, your children are what? What are they?
They become U.S. citizens.
And that's the Supreme Court precedent. So the executive order to overturn it is illegal.
No, it's very much legal. It's challenging the prior Supreme Court decision. But let's go back to my...
So, wait. How is it legal if it's not a Supreme Court decision? Like, it's it's just a piece of paper. It doesn't mean anything. Like an executive order doesn't legally trounce a Supreme Court ruling.
Mike,
let alone undoes an amendment.
My example, you can fly to China and literally just come here as a visitor, show up at a hospital, and
Like Kirk, and I'm younger than him, though I consider myself closer to the TPUSA than Kirk himself. Example of, the birth of modern medicine or whatever. The big deal. Oh, you talk about the Roman thing? Lots of things the Supreme Court hasn't ruled on to be fair. Well, as far as I know, birthright citizenship was definitely one of them.
they will give you a U.S. passport and your kid becomes U.S. citizen. You understand we are one of the only countries in the industrialized world that has birthright citizenship.
And I'm proud to be that. We are a country of immigrants. See,
no, we're not. No. We're a country of
give me-
settlers, not of immigrants.
Okay.
That's a big distinction.
What's okay? Difference between settler and immigrant. While the terms settler and immigrant can sometimes be used interchangeably, a key difference lies in their intent and the context of their arrival. Settlers typically aim to establish a permanent, often dominant presence in a new territory, potentially displacing or subjugating existing populations, while immigrants seek to integrate into an already established society. So, as a conservative, I propose to the right wing that from now on, you do not call illegal immigrants. You call them illegal settlers, because clearly they're not here to integrate into society. They're here to settle into society and change it based on their whims and their culture and whatnot. See, I'm smart. I'm not stupid like Charlie Kirk and this fucking the old guy who likes AOC's boobs, or any of the other Daily Wire boring gay fucks. I can do way better than this shit. It's like just call them settlers. Like if we're being replaced, at least get your terminology right. Like like the conservative base is stupid enough. They're not gonna fucking Google the difference. That took me like 10 seconds, and it's just like they're not gonna bother even like researching like the difference to see like if there's a distinction, because they don't care if like they have something wrong. That's what conservative media depends on. The base is gonna just eat it up, like regardless, like no matter what. Not talking about this specific issues. Working on the phrase, so there's just a new right wing talking point. I haven't heard it. Civilized and occupied area. How can you settle the best society in the world? The best society in the world. Japan? What are you talking about? Oh, America. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what part of America. I guess some might argue that about Islam in Europe. That's what they're saying. I mean, sure. I mean, it's settling in Europe and whatnot. I mean, it's whatever. Like if you say something enough times, if you repeat something enough times in media over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, it will become true. That is the conservative trick. That is good media right there. That is good propagandizing, because ultimately, good media is propaganda. It is to make you think a certain way. It is to make you accept certain ideals that you wouldn't otherwise have the knowledge or foresight to counter with any conflicting facts or information. And so you are basically wrapped around the finger of whoever is drilling this propaganda into your head, and I can do it way better than these people. And I look forward to my future of red pilling America in the world. But I know you're not a conservative. Yes, I am. I don't. How dare you? I am deep in right wing. They talk about settlers versus immigrants versus colonizers for a bit now. Semantics. They're all bad and all need to go away because America. That's a lib trick, according to conservatives. Making distinctions between them, or what? Let's finish what Charlie has to say, I suppose.
Thanks. Let me tell you
Because so far, this guy doesn't seem very smart either.
the difference. Settlers are people that build a new country that was barren. Immigrants come to a country already built. The people who built this country, they went.
Wait. So was there not already a country before Israel started? Like the Israeli settlers came in? Was there not already certain nations here in America before the Europeans came and colonized?
West to an unconquered, barren country and built a new society. Immigrants helped enrich it. They helped grow it upon that. But the foundation of America were settlers, not immigrants. That is a talking point
We
that is
have
overused.
no
way too much.
unifying religion, no unifying race, no unifying national origin. But what we do share is that if you were born on the soil, you have an inherent birthright to the benefits of American citizenship. And when you
And that's a huge mistake.
And that's a huge
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I guess that means, Megan, like, even though like we were born here, like our citizenship is just forfeit if the government sees fit. Very interesting.
national origin. But what we do share is that if you were born on the soil, you have an inherent birthright to the benefits of American citizenship. And when you grant
I guess that's just not. I guess it's just not a thing according to Charlie Kirk, even though it literally says so in the Constitution. This guy, this fucker right here,
huge mistake.
Huge. He's saying the Constitution is a huge mistake. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a fucking patriot. I believe in this country. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the amendments. I believe in due process. I guess. Legislative, executive, judicial, all this should be abided by. I also do. What he's saying here is he doesn't believe in America. It's like, I've only been part of the right for like what, the past 6 hours now, and I am disappointed by these disgraceful examples that the right have put forth. How do patriotic, American loving conservatives look at each of these clowns and say, this guy's got it going on. This guy knows exactly what he's talking about. I look up to this guy or this girl, whatever the fuck. I'm genuinely baffled. What perspective? Also, literally asked about Israel. Unfortunately, they were buried in areas where they built up a society that would support those colonizing, or the settled areas. So, like, you're saying it was occupied but not civilized. I mean, so we do believe in might makes right. Like, even though there were peoples there were like the First Nations here, for example, because we come in and civilize the territory, it automatically makes it good. No, they built cities in unoccupied areas. Okay. Because you can't even empathize with conservative viewpoints. Oh, I do. I do. Like that's. I mean, that's what we've been doing. But I don't see how it is a conservative viewpoint to say that, like, oh, just because you're born in America doesn't mean you're you get to enjoy pride in your birthright and shit. That seems very anti-American to me. Not, I'm talking broadly, like generally, like the tribes who are here in the Americas before our ancestors arrived.
And that's a huge mistake. So you disagree with 200 years of precedent.
Yes.
Have you read what was discussed during the,
The
passage
founding
of the
fathers,
14th
first and
Amendment?
foremost, never wanted all of a sudden a pregnant woman to be able to get on. They didn't have airplanes back then. Go across the ocean, and all of a sudden they become a U.S. citizen.
Those who drafted the 14th Amendment did.
Yeah, the 14th Amendment was in what year?
1866.
Yeah, exactly. Way past the founding era.
So you don't
Number
agree
two,
with
the 14th Amendment was largely applicable to free slaves.
I understand that was a purpose, but it has
14th
also been extended to those who come.
So he doesn't even think the slaves should be free either. He doesn't even think slaves or the descendants of slaves should be granted birthright citizenship just because they were born here either. Interesting.
Exactly. No, you're right. It has been wrongly extended. You know, the 14th
by
Amendment.
the Supreme Court.
Exactly, and they got it wrong, just like how they got Roe versus.
Okay. So we're cherry picking which Supreme Court decisions are right or wrong. So I'm curious what his opinion is on the Chevron doctrine and the president's getting near total immunity.
This is Wade wrong, and we got that repealed. The point being is the Supreme Court can get things wrong. The idea, it's very
okay, but wrong according to what? Like, are we using the Constitution? Like, what are we referencing? What authority?
very simple. It's that if you think you can just get on a Delta Airlines flight from Paris and all of a sudden your kid becomes a U.S. citizen, that devalues the meaning of what it is to be a citizen.
Should we?
What does that mean?
You can just get on a Delta Airlines flight from Paris and all of a sudden your kid becomes a U.S. citizen. That devalues the meaning of what it is to be a citizen.
Should we?
Literally how? Sorry, I thought I had this thing here still. Do you have no concerns about people taking advantage of the birthright privilege? If their skin color is darker than mine, then yes. Yes, those tribes were the entire reason the people were able to build societies. Yeah, they enslaved them. So you agree might makes right. 100% understand that was the purpose. It's you're gonna have to clue me in with those last couple comments. Okay.
Court can get things wrong. The idea, it's very simple. It's that if you think you can just get on a Delta Airlines flight from Paris and all of a sudden your kid becomes a U.S. citizen, that devalues the meaning of what it is to be a citizen.
So, like, okay, why? How? Like, shouldn't you want people to become U.S. citizens? Like, what exactly is wrong with that? Isn't our country great? Like, are we great because of our people? Are we great because of the Constitution? Are we great because of the government? Are we great because of what? Fucking Yellowstone? What? Do the people not have anything to do with it? Like, our system of government, the branches?
Should we hold the children who do not choose to come here accountable for their parents' actions? There are some countries that
that's a good question.
You're already a citizen. You're a citizen. We're not going to revoke.
Right, but once if it becomes
you sure? Are you sure? What if that starts happening, Charlie? Like, what if the 14th Amendment starts being, like, blatantly violated by the current administration.
Comes overturned. Do we want to create like second-class citizens who aren't a
No, they're-
citizen of another country?
Yes, they're citizens of another country. Go back to your own country.
Except if they come from India, they come here and a child is born. That child is not a citizen of
Correct.
India, nor would they be a citizen of here. Then you have like
No, they are
You literally have like stateless people.
a citizen of India. That's not
They're
true.
not.
Yes, they are. The parents are Indian citizens, and that's how it works in India. Is that the citizenship goes to the parents.
Okay, but what about the fucking child?
So that's the point. Is that they can go back to their own country, and they can go.
Okay, but their child's not born in India. You know what? Let's look this up. Can a child of Indian parents be born outside of India and still be a citizen? Oh, okay. Yes, a child born outside of India to Indian parents can be an Indian citizen by descent, provided the birth is registered at an Indian consulate within 1 year, and the parents declare that the child doesn't hold another country's passport. Interesting. Okay.
Live in India.
So the children should be deported as soon as they're born here.
Yes, with their parents, absolutely.
You don't think that we should give them? We shouldn't encourage them to become productive members of
No.
American society.
No.
Do you believe in the American dream?
Yes, of course, for American citizens, not for every
I
person
agree.
around
Come on, dude.
the planet.
I agree. I think we all agree.
Yes, it's not our job to open up our borders to every sad story around the planet.
Exactly, the adults, but the children did not choose to cross the border. They did not choose to come here.
Okay.
They have been placed here.
Exactly. So don't punish them by separating the mom and dad. They can all go back to their country of origin. It's very simple.
But that's not the law. That's not how it's been. Do you think that would be
hold on,
productive for American society?
Hold on. That's an interpretation of the 14th Amendment. We're talking about two different things. We're talking about birthright citizenship, and then we're talking about kids that are crossed when they're already born. The point being is this, and President Trump's executive order is phenomenal. It goes back to this very basic question.
He really doesn't go a few minutes without fondling Trump's ball sack.
What does it mean to be a citizen? And we're throwing around citizenship like frisbees every day. You're a citizen, you're a citizen, you're a citizen. And it dilutes the meaning of the citizen, of what it means to be a U.S. citizen. We need to bring it back to actually say, hey, you have to earn your citizenship. You are not given your citizenship.
So the children
Okay, so like ignoring like the fact that's a slippery slope and can easily be used to, you know, imply that American citizens born to American parents whose parents were American and then before that they can have their citizenship questioned because of what they do. They can have, like, why not? Because listen to this.
To be a citizen, and we're throwing around citizenship, and then we're talking about kids that are crossed when they're already born. The point being is this, and President Trump's executive order is phenomenal. It goes back to this very basic question. What does it mean to be a citizen? And we're throwing around citizenship like frisbees every day. You're a citizen, you're a citizen, you're a citizen. And it dilutes.
Why is that so bad, though? You still haven't explained why it's bad.
It's the meaning of the citizen, of what it means to be a U.S. citizen.
Dilute what it means to be a citizen? Like explain how. Doesn't that strengthen American resolve? Doesn't that like strengthen like what like because like apparently it's just so easy, just like what
we need to bring it back to actually say, hey, you have to earn your citizenship.
Okay, yeah, that's the fucking word I was looking for. Earn your citizenship. So does that apply to everybody else? Like what? Okay, so you come into this country, and you're not American. Like what? Oh, Wi-Fi issue. Sorry, I dropped off. Live right now. FBI cut Reagan 2020 election. Yeah, we were literally just watching that. Except he was talking to that anarchist guy. Is he actually talking about the topic now? Okay, so Charlie, should American citizens born to American citizens who were born to American citizens who were born to American citizens, should they also have to earn their citizenship? And what the fuck does that look like?
Yep. You are not given your citizenship.
So the children who a child doesn't choose to be born between someone who comes here illegally and someone who is already a citizen. That person did not choose that. There's no accountability.
Yes, and there's
in that
kids
action.
in Namibia that didn't, choose to be born in Namibia.
Exactly.
That's not our
But that's
concern
the
to
great
import
thing
them.
about America is that by being here, you offer them the extension for the
See,
opportunities.
I disagree. I think that I think on the surface it's a great thing about America. I think it's us having generosity being turned into compromising our values used against us. At time, generosity can turn into an overindulgence. You could become too generous, where you are borrowing money that you
Can
don't
you?
have. We're doing that. Where you're giving citizenship where it dilutes. Yes, we are a generous nation, and
we certainly are. We certainly are. We're very generous to the wealthiest people in our society, for sure. You know, it's like since we're being so generous to them, it's like, why don't we have them fund my show? Like, hello, I can do so much better than Charlie Kirk. Come on, come on. If you want to get across these talking points so bad, but actually like have them be smart and backed by the Constitution, and actually sound sound like you actually know what you're talking about. I'm your guy. Hello. It's like I don't get it. I don't know what people see in this.
and our virtues have become our vices.
What does it dilute? What does
Yes!
a child being born here having birthright?
You know what? You know what it
What does
dilutes?
that take away from us?
It first of all,
They pay
Yeah, it's a great fucking question.
taxes.
First of all, number one, it dilutes a lot.
What does it dilute?
Can I get to it? Dilutes a lot. Number one, it dilutes legal immigrants that are full adults that had to apply to come
And
here.
I agree. So
how?
We should stop illegal immigration.
Well,
but
no,
there will
legal.
always be
I said
some.
legal
I
immigration.
agree.
Right. Number two is that I actually want the idea of being a U.S. citizen, that you are here or born here because your parents did something to allow you to be here, not just that you got on a nonstop.
Yeah, like flying into the country and being born here.
Flight from Seoul, South Korea, and you happen to fall and your water breaks and you're suddenly a U.S. citizen. It devalues the entire meaning of what it means. Everybody here has a unique story of what your parents did for allow you to live in this country. That's called a social compact. Some of you guys, your parents came here, and your ancestors came here in the 1700s. Some of them came here in the early 1900s. But if all the
So his argument basically comes down to, oh well, birthright citizenship, being born here, it's not fair because other people had to work harder to become citizens after being born and not being U.S. citizens. So it's not fair. It's just like, who gives a fuck? Like, like who fucking cares?
all of a sudden you can gain entry and cut in line, it dilutes the sacrifices primarily of the greatest generation from World War II that allowed us to live here, and it is an insult to them.
Okay, yeah, no, it's no. You're just a baby. You're just a fucking crybaby. MAGA, America first, bro. Yeah, I believe in the 14th Amendment. It's part of the Constitution. Problem is, we're generous internationally more than nationally. I mean, I don't even. Well, I guess it depends. I guess it depends. But I think true patriots, true America-loving patriots, should look at the 14th Amendment and say, like, that's right. Like, I agree with that. It would take a lot to actually undo the 14th Amendment, and then it's just like, where do we go from there? Like, who is actually qualified to be a U.S. citizen? Like, how far back are we going to strip it away? Are we gonna go fucking Starship Troopers, service guarantees citizenship? Are we gonna go do like loyalty tests? It's like, you must be subservient to the U.S. government and not say anything bad on its behalf. Otherwise, yoink, citizenship revoked. Oh, you're here illegally. Off to the El Salvadoran gulag you go. Provide basic health care for Africa, but not our people. Africa is a gigantic continent. And we do that and more for Israel, so I don't know, man. It's like all these conservatives that we're watching today, easy pickings because they don't seem very pro-American. I don't get it. Who else can we watch? What other anti-American ding-dongs are the conservative right so obsessed with? Yes, Israel supports successful. Bro, I agree. That's what I'm talking about. I agree. If you're just joining, yeah, I'm leaving the left. I made a video earlier today. If you replay this stream, which I might be ending it here pretty soon, Dieter joined me and we went over a whole lot more of it. Wait a minute. Wait.
3 reasons why you need this portable welder. Firstly, it makes beautiful welds, and it works.
Some bombshell news here. Despite Elon Musk's best efforts to quite literally buy a state Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin, the liberal judge, Susan Crawford, has defeated Trump hanger-on Brad Schimmel in a race that commanded the attention of the entire nation. This race was crucial for 2 reasons. First, it keeps...
Yes! Screw conservatism. I'm actually a leftist. Leftist best, baby. Not going to the right. Hope is on the horizon. Fuck the right wing. Fuck conservatives. Red pill? Nah, I don't want that shit. April fucking Fools! Well, you probably already knew that. Oh. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. April Fools is right, Megan. Yeah, lame. Not lame. Like honestly, like if this is seriously like what the right's working with, like in terms of personalities and influence and media and shit, it's like it's more dismal than I could have even imagined, honestly. Worth a little deep dive though. Going off preliminary results is right wing. You got me there. Well, I had way too much fun doing this. I might actually like make this like a recurring thing. Maybe like once a month we'll do this, you know. Cause I made it very convincing. It was hard to like keep it together. Like I made because Dieter knew going into it. At first he didn't. I was like, I'll just play along, and he did very well. He played his role very well. Most right wing thing you've done all night? No, like I said a lot of right wing things. You know, I talked about how immigrants were bad, and you know, brown people are scary. It's not even remotely convincing to any right winger. Well, that's your opinion. I had don't lie. I had you going. Like the video I made, I posted earlier. You thought it was genuine. Don't lie. Anyway, yeah, I think I might stream again on Thursday, just to react to Dieter's like marathon of videos. Also, no idea. I told you so. Oh well. Strawmanning the right only entertains left people. I mean, yeah, just like how strawmanning the left only entertains right-wing people. And that's basically all the fucking right does, honestly. I mean, not even the fucking left-wing media I consume strawmans the right. They just cover what they say and then just pick it apart. And also, like a lot of what I was saying wasn't even straw manning. It was like you really need to like see what I come across on Facebook. The people who follow Fox News, the people who follow the Daily Wire, the Daily Caller, OAN, Newsmax. It like a lot of the shit they say is like indistinguishable from the shit that I've said like all night. Right, be centrist for max audience views. I mean, I could pretend to be centrist too. No, genuinely though, this was super exhausting. Like kind of hard to maintain myself. Send one video that is not strawman the right. Okay, all right. We'll actually watch one together. Let's see. Oh, strong tornadoes, huh?
To make assault rifle.
It's also near the White Cross Hill, and it's going to probably be hitting the Camp Phillips Water Tower. And then in the town of Smolin, there's an all-in screen print building in the Smolin House of Prayer.
All right. Only right-wing people still allowed on Facebook idiots to negatively impact the public section of the right wing. Yeah, because it's like the entire fucking base. Like these people vote. You know, like there's no value within conservatism left. It's just rooted in tribalism and fear. You know, like they're Northeast Arkansas, about South Missouri, Salina, I-70.
And then after that, it's approaching a much more populated area near Salina, which includes the Salina Speedway, the C&W Ranch Bed and Breakfast, and then the Saline County Road and Bridge Building. And then it will eventually approach the southwest side of town. If this is still on the ground, it will be approaching the Salina Regional Airport just west of I-135. So again, get to your storm shelter, basement, closet, or bathroom. If you're in this tornado warning, get away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible. This is a very dangerous storm heading towards Salina. If you know any friends or family in Salina, make sure they're aware of this. And again, feel free to share the stream with them too, if you have any friends or family in the path of this.
Yeah, I can't tell where this is. Junction City. Oh, this is in Kansas. Because that's all Facebook censorship from before. What is the Zuck change? What's Facebook censorship? All right. See what I watched recently. Oh, here's a good one.
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump and the states that need the education department the most. Trump has started the process of trying to dismantle the Department of Education. Trump said, quote, "We're going to eliminate it." And this looks like one campaign promise he intends on keeping. It's not something he can do by himself. He needs Congress to really dismantle it completely. But he started the process, and many of his voters have been cheering. But maybe they shouldn't be. There's a lot of confusion over what exactly the Department of Education does, and many who are in favor of getting rid of it to end woke curriculums.
Only idiots who share their opinions and comments surviving. Regarding Facebook posts? I don't know what. Do you have sunglasses? No! Come take them off yourself.
Are in for a surprise when they find out the curriculums are done at the state or local level. More importantly, many of the states that are Trump's biggest supporters need the Department of Education the most. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon said programs that directly affect students wouldn't be defunded. But Congress has to make that true via legislation. The other question is that if Congress does provide the funding through some other mechanism, it becomes a way for Congress to exert control over states.
Wix, one platform, any website, unlimited creation.
All right. Majority Report does a great job. They genuinely
CNN interviewed
not only represent conservatives and their views accurately, but they don't actually strawman their views and whatnot because it's actually based in reality, like actual takes that they pick up and cover.
a self-identified MAGA junkie. This woman is named Jennifer Pigot, lives in West Virginia. She was fired from her job as a probationary employee in the Treasury Department for poor performance.
Maintain per student funding and let parents allocate distribution. Why? Well, we'll go back to that video after this, but just to appease you with a video that doesn't strawman the right.
Was a huge fan of Donald Trump, voted for him, etc., but is the latest casualty in Doge's gutting of the federal government. Here she is explaining to CNN why she now regrets that vote.
This flag used to hang there. This was the flag Jennifer Pigot proudly hung outside her home during campaign 2024.
We had the flag. I had the shirt. I was a MAGA junkie.
A MAGA junkie who thought her government job would be safe with Donald Trump in office. She was wrong.
I cried. It's scary. You know, it's a really scary thing. And I was embarrassed. He's a good boy.
Pigot was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
This is actually a very common thing. This is happening all across the federal workforce. People who are letting off due to poor performance, being fired due to that, and nothing to back it up. Just the automatic excuse.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Pigot says she's received death threats and her home has been egged. If you could say anything to President Trump now, what would you say?
I expected better from you. I really did. I expected that you would do what was right and cut waste and fraud and all of those things that you promised us before we elected you in office, but you're not doing that. You're creating...
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Fool can't get fooled again. 3 elections. 8, 9, 10 years. You had a chance to see who he was and what he was.
A disaster, and I don't know what America's going to look like if this continues.
Well, what the Trump administration wants to do and what Doge and...
Yeah, performance reviews from previous years, but did you hear what she said, though? She got the highest rating that you can possibly get. And they still let her go because of performance rate, her performance. She was still cut for no reason. So it wasn't nothing.
And Elon Musk want to do is to funnel federal...
A disaster, and I don't know what America's going to look like if this continues.
Well, what the Trump administration wants to do and what Doge and Elon Musk want to do is to funnel federal workers back into the private sector. There has been a persistent, from their perspective, lack of labor discipline over the past few years because unemployment has been at such a low level. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that people's standard of living is good. It doesn't mean that, actually, because we have price gouging on groceries by corporations that took advantage of naturally occurring inflation and elongated it so they could have record profits. And we're seeing that in paperwork as they continue to claim that it's naturally occurring inflation or shoplifting or something like that. They want to.
They just pass off the blame, and and they close off locations and blame it on shoplifting just to save themselves some money.
Discipline the labor force and taking a lot of.
And they blame crime too for some of it as well, even though some of that it's 50-50. Some of it is definitely crime related. Some of it is definitely like, let's just save money, and just pass off the blame.
Public employees, putting them back into the public sector increases unemployment and increases scarcity. And so this is what they're trying to speedrun here. It's one part of what Trump is trying to do. And the other part is that if you shrink the federal workforce and the number of people that are going to get in your way when you try to unilaterally make decisions because has authoritarian impulses, it's a lot easier when you have fewer federal workers in your way. Because we did hear anecdotal reports in the first Trump term that there were people who were working to slow some of his most insane impulses from within the federal government, because these are people who have dedicated.
I didn't hear us feeding the dogs. Oh, it's okay. I always work for the government so I can get 8 months severance. Yeah, I don't think that's actually. I mean, you trust the government to do that? It's like you care more about an 8-month severance rather than the people that you're serving, or the people who rely on your job. I don't know. I don't know about that. Shopping gift government, or do we want company? We're talking about inflation and people inflation and companies price gouging and covering it and hiding it in the smoke screen of inflation, just to increase their profits. And I brought up companies closing stores to do the same thing to save money and blaming it on inflation or crime when it's likely just to save money. These articles about getting checks 2 in a row, so good for them. Maybe your job isn't that effective.
Their life to public service. And that's the overarching theme of this too. Yes. It starts in the first Trump term, that there were people who were working to slow some of his most insane impulses from within the federal government, because these are people who have dedicated their life to public service. And that's the overarching theme of this too. The Trump administration doesn't respect or value public work. Because this is an administration that embodies all of what we discussed with like the hallmarks of the thrashing about of late stage capitalism. They believe that all public work is essentially for suckers, and they're going to put in their privatizing goons into wherever, whatever part of the administration they need to infect. So like Elon Musk can, I don't know, have his SpaceX guys keep polluting our atmosphere for profit.
The only people that should live a middle-class existence are people who are supplicants to capitalists in the private sector. But the actual truth is that we have never had a middle class built by capitalists being so generous with wages that it creates a middle class. We have a middle class because of the gigantic interventions in the economy during the New Deal era that caused a massive sort of crunch and basically like rising of wages and for working people as opposed to the wealthy. And yeah, we're not going to. I mean, the problem is like with this woman, and I
feel badly for her.
Yeah, like I think again, like I do feel the need to say anybody whose first instinct is to.
There's that word, empathy. Biggest wedge between the left and the right there. Like where does your empathy lie? Is it to enrich the hands of a few, or is it to, lift up 99% of the country? Improve their living conditions and standards of living. They say a rising tide lifts all boats, right?
You point and laugh isn't here for politics. They're here for some other personal reason. I mean, the problem is like with this woman, and I
feel badly for her.
Yeah, like I think again, like I do feel the need to say anybody whose first instinct is to point and laugh isn't here for politics. They're here for some other personal reason, and I think those people should take a seat. This
most conservative commentators.
this is the power of propaganda. Like the things that Republican voters are told that they want aren't real. They're not real. And Sagar and Jetty would do his Republicans who follow that show a favor by finally admitting that actually this mass deportation fever dream that I've been selling people, that we've been telling people is popular, it's actually not even feasible. It's not feasible to do in a realistic way, and let alone like that they want everybody gone as opposed to just violent criminals, right? Like all this stuff is lies. It's all lies just to get them elected. There's not really fraud in Social Security to any significant extent. There's not. When we look at fraud and who's defrauding the government, Harry Truman did a very famous thing during World War II about going around and looking into fraud. Guess what? He wasn't looking into the bureaucracies themselves. He was looking into contractors who provided things like aerospace, or not aerospace at that point, like aircraft makers selling crappy planes to like flight schools and stuff like that. Like that's what this actually is. Which is to say, Elon Musk would have been one of the people that Harry Truman would have investigated. He wouldn't have been put in charge of the fucking investigations by the government.
No.
God, this fucking Matt always has the best fucking points. Always the best input.
That's exactly right. And the other thing that's annoying about this whole federal workforce, unelected career bureaucrats talking point, which is hilarious given exactly what Matt just said, is that Elon Musk is completely unelected and is acting as a government actor without any of the processes that would be involved in democracy. But
IRS e-file is now open.
Please.
Snap your W-2 and
spare
file
me.
your taxes 100% free.
It's that they paint these public workers as if they are Washington creatures. But you see there, she's in West Virginia, the states with the highest proportion of federal workers per capita. Maryland and Virginia are in the top 3. That's obvious. That seems, that makes sense.
I completely disagree, Megan. Empathy means you do something about it. Sympathy means very little.
Suburbs of Washington, D.C. But Hawaii is number 2. Lots of military personnel there. Alaska is 4. Wyoming is 5. Some veterans affairs there, but also fish and wildlife. That's a part of the federal government. New Mexico then. Oklahoma after that. Oklahoma is, I saw in the, I kept repeating this statistic back when the Doge firings were at the outset, because it just struck me that the federal government is the number 1 employer in the, well, this is Missouri now, but in the Kansas City metro area.
Empathy means you've gone through it. Something means to understand the emotions and want to help. Empathy is the capacity to understand or sense the feelings, thoughts, and experiences of another person as if they were your own, not exclusively as if you experienced those feelings or thoughts or experiences yourself. It's literally putting yourself in someone else's shoes and having the capacity to understand what they're going through. Sympathy is a feeling of concern or sorrow for someone else's misfortune or distress, often accompanied by a desire to offer comfort or support. There is a difference. This right here is a wild statement. Americans don't have empathy for Gazans, may have sympathy, not have empathy. That is an insane thing to say, especially given just the amount of protesting and posting all over TikTok or Instagram or whatever, the uprising, the upheaval that a whole lot of Americans feel given what our country is doing in Gaza, or at least allowing Israel to do in Gaza. But this misunderstanding of empathy, that I literally just gave you the definition of it.
And they employed like 30,000 people, and that's why we were seeing some of these town halls.
If anyone's misunderstanding empathy, Megan, it's you. I'm sorry.
These are people all throughout the country who are going to be affected by this, and that's part of the point. They're
Googling short of this mobility, the perspective is painful. This is not how I learned it in school. Then your school failed you.
doing shock therapy on our own population so that they can remake the government in the way that they see fit, more authoritarian, more...
There's a reason why I've been using the word empathy and not sympathy, because I understand the difference, and I acknowledge that like that is more commonplace on the left than it is the right. And it's an accurate description. Not only is it like fundamental to being a leftist, it's like the conservatives have consistently demonstrated that they're incapable of it, incapable of empathy. Everything means you can put yourself in the shoes. Okay, I take that. So can you truly put yourselves in the shoes of someone experiencing a genocide? No. No, you can't truly put yourselves in the shoes of, but you can have you can try, you can understand the experience. How would you handle it? How would you experience it? How would you deal with it? What would be going through your mind? Like, how would you like, what would you be going through? You just feel bad because you understand what's going on and how that might feel, and feel bad about it. That's literally what empathy is. Because you're you're feeling bad about it because you're empathizing with a situation. Because it's a bad situation, right? That's not sympathy. No, that's not sympathy. No, sympathy is a feeling of concern or sorrow for someone else's misfortune or distress. It doesn't mean putting yourself in their situation to understand where they're coming from. It's basically like offering condolences. Like, you can get feelings of pity or sorrow from empathizing with their situation, yes, but it doesn't mean they're the same thing. I'm not the one mixing them up.
Fascistic, more in favor than people. And that's why we were seeing some of these town halls. These are people all throughout the country who are going to be affected by this. And that's part of the point. They're doing shock therapy on our own population so that they can remake the government in the way that they see fit, more authoritarian, more fascistic, more in favor of billionaires. And you do that by creating pain, and they're admitting that it's going to be pain, whether it's through Doge or with these tariffs. Trump told NBC News over the weekend that he couldn't care less. That's the quote.
Yes.
Couldn't care less.
Yes.
That prices are going to go up for vehicles, for both used and new auto purchases for people in this country.
That.
I mean, it's easy not to care less when you're a multimillionaire or a billionaire and none of this matters to you. But
bingo, because the right's fucking incapable of empathy, and especially Donald Trump, especially fucking everybody surrounding him. So they don't give a fuck.
Compounding regressive tax, like the sales tax, that is disproportionately going to hurt people the lower your income is. And that's part of what they are attempting to do. This is their agenda.
Another day, another Trump attack.
Yeah. All right. Empathy is putting yourself in their situation. Sympathy is matching how you feel in their situation. What is this? Psyched to go. Okay, let's do this. Okay.
Another morning to savor the crunchy nooks and cranny splendor of a Thomas's English muffin.
Tom, which is a nook?
Shut up.
Reactions to suffering. Suffering. We can't avoid it, no matter how hard we try. Between the poor, homeless, and sick, suffering is all around us. We like to think we take it in stride, but how do we really react to it? If you saw an older man shivering on a curb with only a thin blanket and old clothing, you'd most likely feel bad, but you'd keep walking. We all feel the pain of seeing this older gentleman look as though he might not make the night, but seldom stop and do anything. Our reactions are what make us who we are, both individually and as a species. Naturally, mankind is sympathetic to the pain and suffering of others. Psychologist Edward Titchener translated the German word Einfühlung, meaning feeling into English in 1909, turning into the word most of us know today as empathy. However, feeling bad for somebody is not empathy, despite what most people think. The feelings we get are instead a mixture of other emotions. What's the breakdown of some of these emotions? Pity is often distress, discomfort, and overall sadness when witnessing someone else's misery. If you were to see someone yelling at their significant other, you will most likely feel sad for them and look on for a few seconds before moving on. Pity is the acknowledgement of another's pain and that you feel bad for them, but pity does not go beyond this. Like bait is another example of pity, where someone online posts a photo or video to make their viewers feel bad, and at the end says, like, repost, reblog, retweet, share if you understand X's pain and want to help. Of course, a like won't help their suffering. It's just helping the poster by giving them likes on something they posted. Sympathy is the physical display of pity and hoping that the person will be relieved of that pain or suffering.
But it doesn't
is
go
caring
beyond that.
about the well-being of somebody without personally knowing the struggle. You try to understand by putting yourself in their shoes. Empathy is both caring and personally knowing the struggle the other person is going through. Remember, personally knowing is not always paired with caring, which means it is not true empathy. This is evident in psychopaths. You have to have personal experience and care in order to empathize. Compassion is either empathy or sympathy paired with a desire to relieve that person of their pain. With compassion, you actively seek a solution. You do something with your sympathy or empathy rather than just walking away. It must be noted that altruism is very different from empathy, sympathy, pity, and compassion. When someone acts altruistically, they are acting on the basis that it is the right thing to do, not because they feel bad. Altruism can be detached and emotionless, as it is not buried in personal emotions, only in doing the perceived right thing. One way that altruism can backfire is being ignorant of pain, not understanding the problem, but trying to fix it anyway. A good example of this is replacing a child's old broken toy that holds memories because you believe it is the right thing to do. However, by replacing this toy, you are tossing out all the memories they have attached to that toy. So, if you were to see that same old man shivering, what would your reaction be? Pity? Sympathy? Empathy? Would you give him another blanket out of altruism or out of compassion? Write your answers below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos about human emotions.
Good.
So what is empathy?
I switched from due dates to due dates, and it made me go from weeks behind to weeks ahead of my deadlines. You see, I used to just...
Stuff goes wrong for all of us, and at some point, it's our turn again to land in the pit of despair. But it's the conversations that we have whilst we're down there and how we respond to them that will determine just how fast we get back out again. Essentially, people will have one of two responses to us when they see us in pain: sympathy or empathy. Take one, the sympathetic response. The problem with sympathy is that it's based on the three things that worsen and prolong the bad situation that the person is in: pity, victim status, and agreement. When we sympathize, we add our own sorrow, fear, annoyance, our pity to the other person's feelings. And whilst they now feel less lonely, being joined by another person confirms that the pit is real and bad. When we treat people like victims, they behave like victims. And agreement just makes the walls of the pit all the more intimidating. Sympathy always ends in the same way, with a bungled rescue attempt, which almost always fails, because deep down, we don't want to be rescued. We want to be right. Okay, everyone, take two, quiet on set, roll camera, and empathy. When we empathize with someone, we have the power to change the game. By reflecting back the feeling that we see the person having, we show them that they have been understood, deeply understood. By reflecting back their circumstances in plain words, we help them to step back and regain perspective, and importantly, the belief that they can repair their own situation for themselves.
Okay, here we go.
When all's said and done, sympathy can actually feel nice for a bit. But when it comes to getting to a solution, only empathy has the power to get someone up and running again.
This is literally what this is it. This is what I've been saying.
Ah, okay. Take three.
So sympathy will literally only take you so far. Training people like victims have like I think I see you ignoring my comments, choosing different videos to better reflect your take. Yeah, you caught me. because like what this video explains empathy like how I know it better than the other one does. Yeah, I mean, you're right about one thing. The two definitely get conflated pretty often, but either way, like if I had to revise anything, it would be the left is more capable of both empathy and sympathy than the right, and it doesn't even come close. I'm exhausted. I want to watch The Sopranos and go to bed. In feeling versus with feeling. Huh? Yeah, I'm gonna end this stream off. Yeah. Yeah, I will never be a right winger. I will never be a conservative because I will always have sympathy and empathy towards others, and I don't think anything's ever really going to change that. So I don't think I'm ever going to be red pilled. It's just I'm a lost cause when you said you're ignoring me, so yeah. Look, see, I see. Equating sympathy and pity is so weak. They're like by both videos and by this literally the definition that I found right here. Right here. Feeling of concern or sorrow for someone else's misfortune, distress, concern or sorrow. It's adjacent to pity. Personal experience, death, this. Living with steam on the right wing, take no empathy for red pillars. I mean, yeah. You know, I get it. I believe you are. But I also believe, like, yeah, I mean, it's not what I consider scholarly resource. It's just quick information if I need it. You know, it's there. Now you're sympathetic because you're better than right wingers. You're not exactly completely right wing. You know, like even at the beginning of the stream, you were like kind of freaking out because you're like, well, some programs are good for taxes and whatnot. Well, I was going off about like, yeah, like fuck feeding the hungry and shit, you know. Empathy for people where you can't get that. All right, I'll handle that. I'll still say that I still stand by the left is more capable of empathy and sympathy than the right is for damn sure. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Hopefully, I'll be streaming Thursday. React to a bunch of Dieter's videos because why not? See y'all later.